Hey everyone, Anthony, Bangin Beers Podcast. We got two people at the table, Ben and special guest, first time ever on Bangin Beers, Andy Header. Andy, serious business Header.
Yes, I'm here, and I'm certainly no beer drinker.
Yeah, he is not a beer fan. So if his ratings are his views on beers are not
show's over, the brewery listens. Fuck that guy.
Andy does not drink. He is not a beer drinker, so he's going to give us an honest opinion. Now,
dipping his toes in. Yeah,
the fun thing about this episode and the reason we're doing it, we are huge fans of this brewery, so we don't want to say that we're doing it to kind of stack the deck against them
or appease
them. The reason we're doing is they released 4 brand new beers that we all got at the Cake Stand in Monty City. So huge shout out to them. They got all these New Trail beers.
Thanks, guys.
We have 4 from New Trail. They are all hazy IPAs, whether it be doubles, triples, singles, dry hopped. I'm not sure. I have to look at them all. In just a regular hazy IPA, a hazy double IPA, a hazy IPA, and a hazy triple. So what we're gonna do is one of the things that we talk about on the show is you can go and buy beers from a brewery, buy the same flavor, same style, and do they have any characteristics that are different? Like if
anything distinguishing between.
So we have two regular hazy IPAs that are named differently, but are they gonna taste differently?
Right.
And we're gonna try to see if we can pull that out. That's our goal tonight, is see, hey, when you buy a New Trail, do they switch it up? Are you getting a different flavor profile for every beer, even though they tend to always make hazy IPAs? That's like their go-to staple.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to see, do you just slap a new name on the can, or you actually, is the work there?
Take the time, do it a certain way, different way.
Yeah, that's our strategy going in tonight, to see if we find different flavor profiles.
They're the same, these two right here.
These two.
Oh, okay.
So actually we'll do it this way. We'll go IPA.
I thought
this is a double.
Oh, okay.
This is a double. This is a triple. So we're going to start. We already have the first one poured. We have Hazy Runner IPA from New Trail. Now, once again, just on the phone, we have Jason, who has had all these beers. He's going to drink at least 2 of them with us tonight, I think. And then we have Pops on the phone, who has no beer, but he's going to hang out with us.
I do have beer. I don't have the New Trail.
Oh, that's fine. Just drink what you
have.
Then.
One beer.
All right. Well,
I have one beer.
Drink your one beer.
Flying Bison Brewery. I have their Rusty Chain Vienna style beer.
Vienna style beer. Right. Did you go to branching out and grab anything new from when you come home next weekend?
No, not yet. I'll try and get up there this weekend. I actually headed west today from Cortland to Buffalo, and Mother Nature was not very nice to me, and I didn't get my bike ride in. So instead of driving 2.5 hours back, I just grabbed the hotel room, and tomorrow morning I'll get my bike ride in and then head back.
Okay.
And then at some point tomorrow or Sunday, I guess, Sunday I'll head out to Albany, and I've got to go up into Syracuse. I'll be in the Syracuse area tomorrow on the way back, and I can stop in to branching out and get some beer.
Cool. All right, so we did do this before for New Trail, but we'll do it again because this episode is going to be heavily featured by them. So New Trail Brewing Company is a microbrewery out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. They have made about 100. They have 152 beers on Untapped. They average a 3.99. So I think last time we did, they were over 4, and they just dipped under 4 now when it comes to overall views. Our overall scores. They the first beer we're having is the Trail Runner. It's a 6.4. Do you have it open?
I kind of do, yeah.
I'm
just trying to rate it, and I'll give my opinion about it.
Well, how about 4 of my friends have checked this beer in. It averages a 3.56.
And it doesn't say on the can the alcohol. Is that? Do these breweries not do that?
Yes. So that one is a 6.4.
If it doesn't, I can't find it on the can.
I'll let Ben read the description. I'm peeking right now just to look at some scores. So I have one person that's on my friends list gave it a 4.25. He checked it in twice. Another friend gave it. He actually didn't. He didn't give it a score. He just checked it in.
Why wouldn't you give
Colin
a score?
Colin Budwash from Pillaroo. He gave it a 3.50, and his brother gave it a 4. Tyler. Yeah.
What beer is this again?
This is Trail Runner by New Trail IPA. And then my other someone else in my friends gave it a score, but he's on the phone, so we'll let him give his score when the time comes.
Okay.
Ben, if you want to read off the style guide here.
Sure thing. So, Trail Runner is a hazy IPA brewed with mixture of wheats and oats, dartingly hopped with HBC 630, Mosaic, and Columbus. HBC 630 is a new hopped we discovered on our trip to Yakima, known for its flavor of cherry, raspberry, and candy. Expect lush notes of red fruits matched with a cool pine. We're having this one after a run on our favorite local trails.
So New Trail is very into the outdoorsy stuff, like hiking trails, biking, fishing. It's very outdoorsy. So all
Becoming
their
in touch with nature.
Yeah, so all their beers are very themed to that. I remember when we read the thing, this is a dog-friendly brewery. I don't remember if it's kid-friendly or not.
I'm not certain about that either.
Yeah.
I would think most breweries aren't, right? Unless there's food.
If you have food, some of
Yeah.
them you can bring your kids. Yeah.
I know I wouldn't want, because the kids aren't going to buy any beer, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't want them there.
There's some breweries, I know Mellow Mink and Liquid Noise both had little like kid sections where like kids had like little coloring tables and
okay.
toys and stuff for kids to play.
Some of them make their own soda.
Yeah.
One in Harrisburg does. I forget the name of it.
Yeah. That'd actually be a fun idea for breweries if they had their own sodas and
Yeah,
stuff.
some make their own ginger ale.
Craft soda,
Root beer.
Yeah.
Tired Hands would do it too. They made like a blood orange and vanilla soda.
That one in
Sounds awesome.
in Gettysburg,
it looked awesome.
The one not in the main street, but their street, and they were out in the Battlefield. It might be Battlefield Brew Works. They made a ginger ale. And it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I don't want to shit on them. I'm sure their beer's great. Their ginger ale is the
Not
shits.
good. Andy's our craft soda guy. He likes to find craft sodas. Jason, since we're all right, so one thing I'm going to say right off the bat, pouring this first beer, I got it from my back porch fridge. So these are fucking ice cold. Like it's a little colder than I'd like them to be. So
Yeah.
Really?
yeah. Normally you want them like a little warmer, so more flavor profile comes out. I'm going to be honest though, I do still get a ton of flavor out of this. Jason, give us your rundown of what you thought of the Trail Runner.
All right. I mean, I'm a huge fan of New Trail. I mean, anyone who knows, like, listening to the podcast, I mean, I've had a major hard-on for this place for a long time.
I think you're hoarding sixtels. I think anywhere you can find a sixtel, you're hoarding them
Dude,
at the moment.
I have Hill Climb on tap right now, which is a double IPA. I have Flannel Weather on tap right now, which is a double IPA. I have a sixtel of Tent Zipper chilling at
In your
a place
cryogenic
waiting to go on
freezer.
tap next.
Yeah.
I mean,
now you said, hold on real
all-
quick. The other two that you have, are they just double IPAs or are they hazy?
Oh, they're all. I don't know that New Trail. I don't know if New Trail has made. Well, I guess they have made an IPA that isn't hazy, but most of them are all hazy. But every single one I have is a hazy.
Yeah. That's
Well,
what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to find out. This is our science beer experiment, is to find out for how many hazy IPAs that come out. Do they have different flavor profiles, or do they blend together? That's our goal for tonight.
So any distinction versus similarities.
So what did you think of this one here?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm for me personally with these beers, I mean, and maybe it's getting spoiled. The less like alcohol in it, the worse it becomes, in my opinion, at this point for me, because like the session IPA that they made was not very good for me. Day Pack. I know you like that one. That was not a very good one for me. And I actually tried this coming off of one of the other ones that you guys are doing tonight, which is a triple IPA.
So you went from a higher one to a lower one.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the less alcohol content, the less flavor with these anymore. I mean, and maybe it's me. Maybe it's my palate. I don't know what's going on, but I'm like getting really spoiled on these double IPAs and these triple IPAs. I hate to say it, I just wasn't a fan of this one. I mean, like it tasted like Day Pack to me. It tasted like a session IPA. And because it wasn't a session IPA and it tasted like a session IPA, it just really was not.
It's a 6.4. It's like a 1% higher than what you would consider a session. So it's not too far off.
I'm scared because I have a 6-stole of that 10 zipper like sitting, which I've had before, which was a really, really good beer for me at the time. And I don't know if my palate has somewhat changed again to soak up these double IPAs and these triple IPAs, how even I don't know how I'm going to even feel about that, which, I got 6-stole's like a 2.5 cases of beer. Anyways, getting back to this,
I was going to ask what a 6-stole was.
Yeah. It's a smaller keg.
Oh, okay.
It's like a sixth of a keg, so it's like equivalent to basically like 2.5 cases of beer.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason has his own tap system at his house. One of these, once this all blows over, we're gonna try to plan a day to go to Jason's again. You got to come with us this time because he has a stand-up arcade system.
Yeah,
and we have a couple.
Awesome.
We have a couple drinks, and his arcade system has every game loaded up on it. And
he said it comes on the top too. Like
it's impressive. It's a really good time, and we all take turns playing beat 'em ups or like NBA Jam and stuff. And
I get drunk and beat like 6 games.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's a really good time. Jason's arcade setup is impressive.
I actually really enjoyed having you guys over, so you're more than welcome to come back.
Yeah, we had a really good time.
Yeah,
Heidi hung out and she pet the dog for 2 hours while we drank and played video games.
Must be a hell of a dog.
No, I mean, it's all good. But like again with this beer, I mean, I love New Trail. I do. I mean, I have with me, with New Trail, it's kind of getting to be this love-hate relationship with them, honestly, because, like, I'm really split. I mean, I like their beer, but there's certain other things I don't like about them. So I'm kind of getting to be a huge fan and not a fan. But I guess getting back to this beer, it's a 2.5 for me. I mean, it's
just average.
It was a very disappointing IPA for me. It really was. I mean, like, I'm going to have another one and see where I stand with it. But, my initial impressions were, I don't know. It was a swing and a miss. I mean,
It seems like your palate is just geared to. I mean, obviously you do love your hazy IPAs. That's your jam. Mm-hmm. You are more geared to a West Coast style. You like your piney. You like your stuff like that. But it seems like if it's not over an 8 or a 9 for you, it's just like
I think
you need that heavier boozy content.
Yeah, you're more emphatic when you're like, yo, double, triple, I like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're kind of set.
It's kind of like I started out with this stuff, and, again, my palate has changed. I mean, I remember, again, like having, Sip of Sunshine and stuff like that for the very first time and just being blown away. And I have that stuff now, and it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't do the same things for me. And with New Trail, it's kind of getting to be that way. If it's not like that super double or triple IPA, it's just not really hit me like it used to. And I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad beer and it's not a bad IPA, but I don't know, man. 2.5, yeah.
I think you're just pretty much geared in your own way, so nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
I'm really just trying to be honest. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think what you're saying is out of line or bad.
Hey, you also
it didn't. Mm-hmm. I've had so much from New Trail. I mean, my God, like I said, right now I have 2 double IPAs on tap from them. I have the 10 zipper, a 6-stole of that chilling. I have 4 different beers of theirs sitting in the refrigerator, which is all the ones you guys have.
You have put a lot of money into New Trail.
And he's wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah, he has a T-shirt on stock. He has the logo tattooed on his chest. Yeah.
I wish they appreciated me the same way I appreciated them, but I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm not pulling punches anymore. It's like if it is what it is, man. And for me personally, drinking fucking just a shit ton of their beer. This is just average. It's right down the middle, 2.5. Yeah, that's what it is,
and that's not a bad rating. So just to get Andy on the same page here, it's a score out of 5. 2.5 is like
in the middle.
It's like it's you don't hate it, but it didn't blow you away.
Okay,
it's average.
Yeah,
2.5 is just
it's an average beer.
Anything, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just right down the middle.
Yeah, anything from 2.5 to 3 is average, but you would have it again, or from 3 to 4 is you really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. You would definitely have again 4 to 4 and 4 to 4 to 7.5 because it goes in quarters. Mm-hmm. is a really fantastic beer. Like, and the closer you get to the 4.75 and the 5 being the perfect score is the perfect beer. So yeah, it's definitely an average score for me. I've been holding the glass a little bit, trying to warm it up and doing everything I can.
Swishing around.
I get a lot of the citrus and orange. It almost has like an orange peel flavor to it.
I got more of like a dry, first off is it really dry.
Yeah.
And then it hit me with like a little bit of the juice then afterwards.
What it reminds me of is, remember when you were growing up and you played like baseball or, for me, soccer, and you always had that one mom or one coach who would bring a bag full of oranges, like for kids to eat during...
The smell? Is that what the taste reminds you of the smell of that?
No, like... So where I was getting with it is this is a trail runner, so they said they enjoyed this beer after a nice run, where I get that, like, okay, in my mind says like trail runner, I kind of buy into the can a little bit, and then you drink this beer, but it has that orange flavor to it, where after a nice exercise, you eat a pack of oranges. Like when you're a kid, you have the orange peel as a mouthpiece, like, you know what I mean? I just that's kind of what I got from it. For being only a 6.4, I think this, for me, I'm kind of the opposite of Jason here, where I think this, for being as low ABV as it is, I still think it packs a lot of craft beer flavor. It doesn't taste super light, super watered down, super, diluted, I guess you can say. Like when you sometimes when you get a beer and it's down in the fives, like a Miller Lite or a Bud Light or a lighter beer, it's not as much flavor in it as it is, So I don't know. It's. On that being said, too, it doesn't blow me away. I don't hate it. If it was available, I would have it again. I'll give it a 3.5 for me.
So you're a whole step higher then, Jason.
Yeah.
Now, I gave it a 3.5 also, and like just from drinking New Trail, from what we had on the show and what have you, I think they really nailed down like the basics of making a beer, like a hazy IPA. Just making it basic. It'd be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it with these hops. We're gonna do it this way, but we're just gonna go blueprint, just the traditional way. Boom, right down the line. That's how I really feel about it. And like I said, there's with it being dry up front, and then it has that juice at the end, and then drinking it more has a little bit of that, keeps it going still. So 3.5, I think that's pretty fair for this beer overall. And again, for being a 6.4, definitely not bad.
Yeah.
Good starter to start your day off, right?
Yeah. All right. Now Andy's gonna get his little sipful.
And now we got the unbiased.
I like the designs on the can. It's not too much going on. It's simple, but it's nice, clean designs.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
To the
They
the
do
basics.
very-
It doesn't look generic.
Yep.
I wouldn't say, oh, look at this brewery. It looks like a bunch of assholes. Like,
It's funny for me, like with New Trail, like in all honesty, and I mean, I see a lot of these cans and a lot of this can art, and I mean, obviously you guys know, like, like Nightmare and Abomination.
Yeah, they're definitely not
that's
Nightmare,
like
Abomination,
my type of
but-
style. You
yeah.
know what I mean? I hate the whole New Trail, like. I don't like the whole nature aspect
But
of
that's
it
their
and stuff
thing.
like that. Yeah, I
Not
mean,
every-
it
that's
is a very
cool,
well designed
and
design.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, it's
designs-wise.
it's not my thing,
Not every brewery is gonna have blood, guts, and
It ain't gonna be
monsters.
fuckator art on it.
The point of the matter is, like, I've kissed New Trail's ass so much. I mean, and I'm just being honest at this point, it's I don't like the whole I don't know, their whole marketing, I mean, the labels are fucking phenomenally printed and everything, the quality, but I don't know, the whole marketing, the hiking and on the outdoor, I
Listen,
don't know.
I'll
Not
never
for
go on a
me.
hike.
Yeah, I'm no camper.
I'm no camper or hiker, but I definitely see where they're going with it.
I like there's this first beer. What's this one called?
Trail Runner.
Trail Runner. There's a girl running, and she's in front of a lake. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's a clean can.
I find it. No, I'd say that's a peach flavor because it's very peachy colored.
Yeah.
But,
So what do you think of this one?
So I just want to say, if anyone's listening
Unbiased
from
Andy.
the Trail Brewing Company, I'm sorry that I'm going to shit all over this because I hate beer. But I smell pine. First off, that's what
You're gonna get a
Pine.
every IPA is gonna be very hoppy and
a little
piney.
ugh.
If you're not a
And a
craft
little
beer drinker,
citrusy.
if you're not a craft beer drinker, most people say they taste like lawn shavings or grass. All right, initial reaction has not been good. His face is not doing well.
He's just like, oh,
I just can't believe he stayed for this whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah, we recorded a happy birthday greeting for for somebody. No,
That's really bad. So, again, I don't drink beer at all. It tastes like old lemon cleaner in a cup with pine sol mixed in. Pine sol and lemon cleaner.
I get any orange?
I get no orange whatsoever. I get like bad lemons.
Citrus.
Like you know when you have to take like a medicine,
Yeah.
like a Dayquil, and it's lemon flavored, but it's not really lemon flavored. Again, I don't drink, so it is a tad burny.
it is.
It does have a little bit of boozy kick to it, like a little
Oh my
burn.
God, if he thinks that's
Yeah.
burning,
Yeah, wait till he gets to the
I mean,
triple.
it's not like I just took a shot of whiskey, but like,
oh dear God.
ooh.
Wait till he gets to the double and triple.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben had some fruity beers that were
Yeah,
tasty.
if Andy does try a beer, he would be
Yeah.
more on the geared of like the milkshakes and the
milkshakes and the sours.
the sours and-
or Jason brought one that one time. It was berries or something.
maybe, yeah,
I
Let him
forget.
try a stout.
yeah.
Oh, I tried Guinness one time. I almost vomited.
Oh,
you like
my
coffee?
God.
What?
you like
I
coffee?
like
My
coffee,
God.
but again, I'm no beer drinker.
You know
so
what beer-
people are like being enraged when they hear me.
You know what beer
I'm
he would
not
like?
a beer fan.
He would like the Liquid Noise blueberry seltzer.
Was that technically a beer?
Yeah,
Because it's a seltzer.
It's
Oh
a
my
sel-
God,
it's a
you,
seltzer,
you
though?
certainly
it
would.
tastes like a blue Huggy.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
It doesn't. No booze. Literally no booze. You're just drinking it. You're Andy. You would get
that's like
wow.
those White Claws. You don't really taste booze in them. I don't think so.
No.
I tried the black cherry one.
You can kind of pick up on them.
I mean, you know, you're
Yeah.
not drinking
if you
a
really
soda.
are looking for it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, we are a week behind, but we want to do a quick thank you and a huge thank you to Nate from Portland, PA. He was able to plug our podcast, another podcast, and the event they did with Yingling, which is a big deal. I mean, I know maybe some people aren't fans of Yingling. I personally am one. But anytime Yingling does anything for you kind of you get it.
it's appreciated.
It's appreciated, and it's like, holy shit, Yingling's doing something with us. It's a
Yeah.
big fucking deal. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
yeah, it's not mom and pop. I mean,
Exactly. So not only did Yingling take their documentary they did and air it on Facebook so people can see it as a Yingling event, which I think it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome that Yingling did that. And they have this documentary on Amazon Prime, and now they're getting their own web series, like their own like TV series on Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
and they're able to even give us the time of day as this upcoming podcast to talk to us. Huge thank you to Nate, man. I became even more of a fan of your work. You know what I mean? Like, keep doing what you're doing. It made me more proud of being a Pennsylvania resident watching your documentary.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. If you haven't seen it already, and go check out Amazon Prime. Even if you do like a 7-day trial, go check out Poured in Pennsylvania, and then they have a docuseries coming up.
That's a good name.
Yeah, and they have a docuseries coming up where it's going to have episodic stuff where every episode is going to have a theme, and then they're going to go to different
Yeah.
places. So it's a great way on a very big platform with Amazon to see and be proud of more stuff in your backyard in Pennsylvania, which is always welcoming, and I love it, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge supporter of them. So definitely go check out Port in Pennsylvania. Like I said, they promoted our podcast, another podcast, and the Yingling event, which is very commendable of them. They could have just easily went all in on the one.
like, hey, whatever. Yeah.
And I even told him, I said, dude, don't even worry, because we were going to put our episode out Wednesday, and I wasn't aware that they also did another podcast with somebody else. So I kind of released ours the same day as the other podcast, which was not done intentional. Like,
Right.
I just
You really didn't know.
I honestly didn't know.
Really didn't
my
know.
my goal was to release it earlier in the morning, so if people on our end did listen to it, they can go tune into the Yingling live stream
right.
of it. That was my intention. So I worked really hard to get the editing done quicker so I can do that. But huge thank you to those guys. That interview and sit down was fantastic. We really look forward to having some beers with you once this whole COVID-19 thing goes up.
Definitely.
So yeah, definitely go check out Port in Pennsylvania on Amazon Prime.
It sounds like you kind of got a little hyped up when I woke up this morning. I played Animal Crossing New Horizon, and I saw Flick for the first time and nearly shit my pants because I'm waiting for Flick this whole entire time, and I had 3 Atlas moths in my storage, and I wanted to get a model of it, right? So instead of actually clicking on the second choice,
You sold them.
I sold all 3 of them. I'm
It's
fucking
easy.
pissed.
It's easy to sell stuff by accident.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
That was a good analogy,
kidding?
Ben. We talked about one of the biggest interviews we've done for the show, and then you talked about New Horizon Atlas mods. So I seen.
I'm just saying. No, you got so psyched
You're excited
that you just released it, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think of anything about behind it, and then I did the same thing, and
in a video game.
yeah.
All right. Good analogy.
I'm actually really excited to check out that documentary. In fact, like, I know I wasn't involved in the interview with those guys, but I did listen to a good majority of it, and it was very interesting. So it's. I mean, I got Amazon Prime, so I definitely going to check that out.
It's awesome, dude. It's really, and it's crazy how much, like, that was filmed, what, a year or two ago?
I think so, yeah.
And how much has changed just Pennsylvania laws and how people have left those breweries and started their own breweries since that documentary.
Oh,
and,
my God,
and
yeah.
how many
Right,
more
right.
have
And
popped up since that documentary. Like, it's really,
you know,
really cool.
and it's funny because I listened to it, and it was funny. What really resonated with me was, being to these breweries and stuff, and hearing the stories about Trogs. I mean, again and again, it just strikes me like Trogs is just so. I mean,
welcoming.
willing to help people out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like, it's amazing. Like,
it makes me more of a fan of Trogs. It really does.
It really does. I mean, whether you like their beer or not, or you're a fan of their beer or not, I mean, they're an established place, and they're more than willing to help people out, get started, whether it coincides with, kind of what they're doing or not. It's amazing. I mean, they really seem like they're generally a great place,
Great place and great people. They don't.
Yeah.
It seems like the whole idea of looking at it as competition is not in their mind state whatsoever, which is super commendable.
I agree.
Because anytime, listen,
Yeah.
man, it's something I try not to do, but in the back of your mind, when you see another podcast, in your head, even for a split second, you're like, well, they're doing the same thing I'm doing. Obviously, I want to get more viewers. I want to get more attention. And then for that split second, I say, no, don't be like that. Work with people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because it's human nature to not want to do that. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
As humans, we're shitty things. We're shitty creatures. So for Trogs to be on top of the mountain as per se as they are, like for me, like I said, Yuengling is number one. Like in our area, in our immediate area, Yuengling is daddy. Like they are the godfather. You're kissing their ring. You go to their daughter's wedding. You make an offer, and hopefully if they call you one day, you do it. You know what I mean?
The Godfather scenario.
But I'm gonna be honest. Trogs is not too far behind.
Are they only in Hershey?
They are. They're. I don't know how far their distribution goes.
No, I mean that's the only physical building.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's huge. I mean, they've grown from...
Yeah, I know right where it is.
They've grown from that building. They went from Harrisburg to Hershey. And I mean, their facilities have tripled.
It's a nice building. It's right on the corner.
Their food is fantastic.
I know they definitely go from, obviously from PA. I think go to New York, New Jersey. I think they go between like 4 or 5 states potentially.
Yeah, and they make great beer. Like I said, like what he's talking about is there's a brewery that we talked to named Harris Family, and they're going to be, Harrisburg's areas and possibly Pennsylvania's first black-owned brewery.
Yeah.
They don't even have they have a building that is at the ground level. Like they are still trying to put it together, but their building they bought has some issues when it comes to coding, so they can't open it and let people come in. So they're like, so they got to find a new building, and it's not easy for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're going through the troubles they're going through, but for them to go to a place and then go up to Trogs, and Trogs is like, oh, you're the Harris Family guys, and like, yeah, and they're like, here's a case of hops. Here's a case of this.
Oh, that's cool.
Come use our facilities and labs if you need us for anything.
Rather than fuck you. What are we going to be around here?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like not so when you have a brewery, one of the biggest things you would want is a laboratory, like so you can test if your beer has gone bad, like and do all these special tests to make sure you have
what you did wrong,
and it's not cheap to have that.
Yeah.
And Trogs has a state of the art, probably one of the highest tech laboratories in Pennsylvania in our immediate area, and they're just like, hey, you're starting a brewery. If you ever need to use our lab, let us know. You can come in and use it.
That's cool.
Like they're so accommodating to other breweries. Like they're superstars, man.
Yeah.
Like it just makes you more of a fan of that brewery. they're fantastic.
You think like, oh well, this is going to be another like a little bit bigger brewery overall, but like the more and more that we actually talk to smaller microbreweries, they really are pretty stellar when it comes to it. So
yeah. All right, so the next one we have poured here is Footpath. Here, you could take the rest of that. I have a pretty good pour.
Sure.
They smell exactly the same.
So they are the same exact style. These are both IPAs, hazy IPAs. This one has been checked in by 289 people. It averages a 4.14. I will not read the description. I'll let Ben do that.
Awesome.
Jason has not checked this one in, so I'm excited to see his reaction.
I thought
on
it was
this.
offensive, but that's why you're not going to read it.
I'm going to go grab one right now. I had one earlier, but I'm going to actually go grab it right now and crack another one. I'll give you
just kind of looking
mine. Without
kind of spoiling Ben's thing, just to kind of fill dead air here. Two of the hops that are used in this, I am a big fan of. It does have citrus notes and has a little bit of a dank flavor. So.
A dank basement.
Yeah. Dank. So when I hear
That's
dank,
what I think of.
When I hear
A little bit of
dank,
water
I
coming in.
think of it has a weedy. Like,
Is that what they're going for?
I guess so. For me, when I hear dank, that's
This
kind of what
doesn't smell like that weed beer you had that one time.
No.
It smells like a normal. It smells just like the last beer.
Yeah, so once again, these 4 beers that we're drinking are at the cake stand. I know we are a week behind, so we're recording this one day and it won't come out until the next weekend because, just in case one weekend we're like, hey, something happened, we can't record.
Right.
We can still always be ahead of the curve a little bit and put content out. So we are a week, just so you guys, when you listen to this, if you're regulars, just know that we are a week ahead.
And we are beer bandits, by the way.
And if you follow us on Untapped, you will see every Friday night when we record, we check these beers in as we're recording.
Yes.
And you can see exactly where we pick them up. Or you can send us a message on Facebook, and we'll try to make posts of saying where we're getting it. We're trying to get more active as a podcast, giving reviews on Facebook as well. So some of the these 4 beers I won't make a video for, but say if example, my dad, he made a video of just pouring a beer, and he got called out on Facebook saying, "Hey, where's the review?" So shame on you. If Dan Valinsky's calling you out, you need to step your shit up, Dad.
I did a review in the freaking comments.
But yeah, we are trying to do more.
I did a review when I posted it.
Yeah.
What the hell's Dan talking about, man? Come on, Dan.
He can't spell or
What's the
read, so
fucking
give him a comment. He's like the delivery driver in Pizza Boy. He doesn't count. He can't weed. That's a bullshit. Hip hop.
I love Dan.
It's like
Hip Hop Anonymous. Yeah, Dan is amazing. I love him. But yeah, so we are going to try to get more content out there. And like I said, we are on Instagram and also Twitter under Bangin Beers Pod on Twitter and Bangin Beers Podcast on Instagram. So we're going to try to get some of those videos that people are recording and then send them to us, and then we'll put them on Instagram and, along with beer reviews. So when you do make a beer, just this kind of putting it out there because you guys, I'm talking to you as well on the phone. If you do make a review, send me your picture and a link of what you're saying so I can transfer it over to Instagram, and then from there it'll transfer to Twitter. So we are going to try to get more active on the social media front as well.
Always trying to go for that route too.
Yeah,
as
Ben,
well.
go ahead. Give us the description here of
Footpath.
Footpath.
Not
So
Footpath.
Footpath is a 6% alcohol by volume New England IPA. It's a 0.4% less than the one that we just had before. So Footpath is a hazy IPA brewed with a mixture of oats, jauntily hopped with Citra, Simcoe, and Chinook. Expect big citrus notes.
How'd they get him out of Mortal Kombat 4?
There's a nerdy reference. We just got to get a wrestling one in there.
Expect big citrus notes with a fully dank backbone. Enjoy the leisurely walk down a footpath.
So it's gonna
I
taste like
feel
old
like
moss.
I feel like I'm like the
I'm looking
Games
up-
Done Quick announcer when they do shout outs.
Do you spell Chinook just like the character?
No, it's CHINOOK.
Okay.
All right, so I'll give my review real quick while you guys are doing what you're doing. So I don't get as much citrus in this one, but I do get the Simcoe and the Citra hop a little bit.
I got a helicopter.
This I don't get as much dank, but this one's a lot smoother. It has a creamier feel.
It does.
I want to say it obviously has a hazy. It's like a juicier flavor, a really good mouthfeel.
Has a little bit of that.
It's
juicy.
very smooth, and it has a very hint. It has the hop flavor, but
definitely.
it's just to start off. So we're comparing this as two different hazy IPAs, one being an Indian and this is a New England.
Mm-hmm.
They are complete polar opposites. They are two different beers.
How do you spell Chinook again?
CHINOOK.
Okay, cool.
So already if you are going to a store and you see New Trail Runner Hazy IPA and Footpath Hazy IPA, and then you look at the fine print in the bottom of the New Trail and it says Indian Pale Ale, and you're just at the store, you're like, well, what's the difference? I'm going to tell you right now that they are completely different flavored beers. You're not getting the same. Like there's not even a hint of similarity to them, which is good. That's what you would want.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing to see.
Now one's a New England style and one's a Indian Pale Ale. Now once again, this is where my beer ignorance comes in, and I don't know the difference of what makes one the other and what the process is to one another, so I can't speak on that. But
Do you know, Ben?
I think it's when you're adding more oats. When you add oats into it, it's more of like that New England. It's more of a smoother style when it comes to it.
There you go.
So,
man, I'm torn on this one. I'm really torn. I'm stuck between a. You want to get my review, or do you want to do yours first?
Well,
I mean,
no,
you go.
No, you definitely
Yeah, you're
go
already
for
there.
it.
I'm
You're
stuck.
hopped up already. No pun intended.
I'm stuck. Let me get one more mouthful here. One more. Give a go here.
Doing our slug, our swig.
I can't wait for Andy to give his
I looked up
review.
Chinook, and you know how one of my big things is when they get too hoity-toity with their beer review, and it's bullshit, like the ingredients.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Chinook is?
What's a Chinook?
Okay, so there's 4 definitions here. One is a member of an American Indian people. I
Okay.
doubt that's the taste. Another is a language of the Chinook or other nearby people. I doubt it tastes like the language.
So the Chinook hop could be brewed in
It may be in that area.
In that
Native
area where
American.
maybe
Or
there's-
it's the taste of a warm, moist southwest wind. Or a dog. There's a rare breed of dog. So maybe it's the taste of a dog. So, like, that's like... Would the beer be any better or worse if they would have left Chinook out
well,
of
no,
it?
the Chinook is the style of hop they use. So
Or a species.
or a species of hop. So
Yeah.
so pretty much
It's
maybe
that one, they take the beer and they just let the wind hit it.
Yeah.
There's Chinook's in it.
yeah, or they just let their dog lay in the
I,
bat.
don't know, I
Yeah.
think that's them being a little too... what's that word?
I would agree with you.
Pretentious?
But
Yes,
but
pretentious.
hops are a newer thing, and they are finding, like, just with any other
yeah,
plants,
there's
they
a
are finding
slightly
different,
different
like
hop,
with
yeah.
with weed when people have different strains, and this strain because bud is different
and
from
it's
this
spun
strain.
out of control. And
That's
now-
what hops are like.
Yeah.
They're always finding new ways to like make
So
hybrid
that might
hops.
be slightly different.
So yeah, so maybe someone made this hop and they said, "I'm from this area
Yeah,
of
that's what it's
Pennsylvania
gonna be.
or this area somewhere," and it,
Or maybe they were a big fan of the character in MK4.
yeah, or like because every other town in Schuylkill County is named after an Indian
this is
thing,
true,
so they're
yeah,
probably
yeah.
like or the big tribe in our area was Chinook, so they
Yeah.
named the hop
Maybe
after it.
possibly.
Yeah. So I don't think they're doing. I don't think.
Hopefully
I
it's
don't
not just being pretentious.
think. Yeah, I don't think they're being pretentious. I
Yes,
think
this
just that's
beer
the
is
name of
served
the hop.
outside the glass. It's like,
Andy.
I definitely see where you're going, but I am torn between a 3.75 and a 4 on this one. I'm going to leave you hang there. I'm going to let Ben do his review.
so you like this one a little bit
I
more
do.
than the other one.
I do. I think this one's a lot smoother.
I think we're more geared on towards like a smoother, tastier, style.
I think I'm more of a
IPA.
fan of the New England.
The New England, definitely. I can even see myself that way too. I say like I'm telling you how New Trail does basic stuff. It's just the basic New England, and that's why I kind of like. Sometimes you
Yeah.
want something basic like that.
So for the first couple of years, I've been a craft beer drinker. Even like this show is going on its second year, but I've been doing it even probably a year or two before the show started.
Tony, you and I
I-
were basically freaking drinking stuff. We were just slugging it down. If
Yeah,
it
we
tasted
did.
good, we didn't give fucking good.
We
but
didn't.
either
We
way.
didn't give a shit of if it was a New England or an Indian or if it
Just
was this or it was
getting
that.
beer, right.
We were just getting beer and we were trying it. But now that like we're really diving in and reading the Untapped reviews and finding out, trying to learn the difference when we go talk to breweries, what's the difference between an Indian Pale Ale and a New England style, and really finding out like, oh wow, like if it's made with this type of hop, I'm going to lean more towards that beer because it's made with hops I'm a fan of. Or if it has more of a West Coast flavor, Jason may lean towards it that way. We're evolving as beer drinkers, and then we, I mean, it's a weird thing, but it does make a lot of sense if you're into it more. It's like kind of like wrestling. Like here's our wrestling reference. If you're more of a technical wrestling fan rather than a flippy dippy
Or a
spot
casual.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like
then-
some people would watch it and their first time in, they like the spot stuff because it's visually appealing. Where if you're more of a technical guy, you like when they do mat work and work on submissions.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing in the beer. Like you kind of find what you're geared to. You can appreciate all, but if you had to steer towards one way, that might be your favorite. So far, the footpath is my favorite out of the two.
I'm liking the footpath as well. Not just going off of your coattails there, but I mean, like I said, like I think if you had to give me between the both of them, and you gave me a New England, definitely the New England.
What is the AB? What is the
only 6%?
Okay,
it's only a 0.4%.
It drinks like a 6.
Yeah.
So the other one was 6.4, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to Miller Lite is what, a 5.5 or a 5.4?
It's actually like a 4.
I thought it was like a 5.
It's like water.
Ain't all craft beer is much more than like a normal, like a Budweiser.
Yeah.
It all varies.
Some of the craft, the
Like a
I'm sorry,
normal.
yeah, the seltzers are 5.5s.
Like
Like
a
the
normal-
Bud Light seltzers are 5.5.
Yeah, like a Coors Light.
Sometimes if they
Yeah.
depending on how they brew it, then too, Andy, you can get some that are like down to like 4.8, like near that 5% alcohol by
Yeah.
volume, but sometimes that's all you really
This
need.
is like doubled of what a Miller Lite would be.
Okay.
But it still has that smoother, lighter flavor.
Plus, these are 16-ounce cans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give your review? Or want to pass it over to Jason?
I'll give it a 3.75.
3.75?
I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Again, it's a basic one. It's not like wow.
So you liked it more than the first one as well.
I did like it. I did
This
like it a
is
bit
for me.
more.
This is I would buy a case or a 6-pack or a 4-pack of Footpath, and if I was watching a pay-per-view, this would be like a pay-per-view beer for me. Like if I was sitting down watching a wrestling pay-per-view or a UFC pay-per-view, I would enjoy my 4-pack of these. I wouldn't get too turned up or too loopy, and I would still enjoy my night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah. Jason.
I'm starting to get scared because
I don't think he liked it.
I realize that I have that 6-10 zipper sitting. That's a single IPA from them, a single hazy IPA. And now I had that before, and I remember really, really liking that beer a lot because I actually had that before on tap as a 6 as sort of like a mistake. I was able to get one. And I remember being so happy and so lucky that I had that and just so fortunate. And I'm starting to drink these single IPAs, these single hazy IPAs from New Trail. And I'm so spoiled on those doubles and those triples that these are just not doing it for me. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know. I've been so far up New Trail's ass that like I feel like I really gotta wheel it back a little bit. I mean, honestly, for me, I mean, what was the Footpath was the one we had before this, right?
Yes. That one was
Yeah.
a little bit of a boozier taste.
No, Footpath's the current one we're talking about.
Oh yeah, Footpath. We're drinking Footpath now. Trail Runner.
Trail Runner
Yes.
was the first one. Yeah, you know, these are about the same for me. I mean, I probably, you know, when I have another one of the first one again, I may bump it up to a 3. But honestly, that's the far this is going to go. I mean, it's the same with this one. It's a 3 for me. I mean, it just doesn't blow me away. I mean, it's so much New Trail lately. I mean, I've really just been like, it seems like it's all that I've had lately. And, you know, I'm really getting to a point with this New Trail beer where it's just like, yeah, it's good, but like there's some of it that's a lot better than others. And for me, you know, as you said before, Anthony, you kind of like adjusted your score, you know, you kind of like got to a point where you're like realizing, man, maybe I kind of went a little too high on something. That's how I'm kind of with this stuff. I'm starting to wheel it back a little bit. I'm like, you know, this stuff's really good, but I don't know. It's just not blowing me away anymore. I mean, it's a 3, you know, and the one before this, I mean, I gave it a 2.5. Honestly, I may drink it again and give it a 3, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's good, but it's not mind blowing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
I agree.
You know, it's more.
It's
New
definitely
Trail.
not.
I mean,
It's not going to blow your
more the
socks off.
same.
It's not going to blow your socks
No,
off. But the biggest thing that we're trying to pull
I mean,
out of it is they are 2 different style of beers, though. They are completely different flavors.
You know,
yeah.
But for me, you know, it's more of the same. I mean, it's just, you know, it's New Trail. It's good, but like, you know, you had New Trail. I mean, you had New Trail, and I mean, that's, I don't know. I think I'm starting to get to the point with New Trail where I'm getting a little burnout on New Trail.
You're talking yourself out of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man, it's just like, I've been like just overly like flooded with this stuff lately, especially with this coronavirus. I mean, I've had access to a lot of stuff that I normally didn't have, and I mean, maybe it's just wearing a little thin with me. I don't know. You know?
Well, here's the thing. Do I say the name of the brewery? Because I kind of want to, not in the fact of, not that I talk shit on them for a while, but I did have a perception of them not being a beer drinker.
You should be honest.
All right, I'll be honest. So there's a brewery that we used to have a little thing, and I think maybe some people still feel this way, and I was one of them for the longest time, and I was one who spoke about it but didn't say the brewery, where I was like, man, if you had one of their beers, you had them all. They all kind of taste the same. They all have the same characteristics. And I'm going to be honest, it was Pizza Boy. And when I had a Pizza Boy beer...
I mean, I got to agree with you. I like Pizza Boy, and I mean, they got... but yeah, I mean, but
here's the thing.
They had like 78 flavors.
Yeah.
When I go with my friends, I'd say to them, well, at a certain point, like, how different are they?
But here's the thing. I went to Pizza Boy and I bought 4 different flavored beers. And even before I had those 4 different flavored beers, I had another 4 different flavored beers from Black Diamond and Frackville. And then I picked up 1 or 2 different flavors of Pizza Boy from Ben. Ben had some Pizza Boy. So in the last probably 6 to 7 months, I probably had 8 or 9 different Pizza Boy beers, and I'm going to be completely honest, like, coming at it from a different perspective and not trying to score it as high and trying to really pick it apart and not so much be a dick about it, but really be honest with my reviews.
Really analyzing it, really.
I think my perception of Pizza Boy was wrong. I think a lot of their beers don't taste the same, and I think maybe they were, and maybe I just wasn't educated enough on the process and have my palate. But as of recently, I've probably had about, like I said, 8 different Pizza Boy style beers, and they all taste differently, and I enjoyed every single one of them. Wow. There's not one stinker. Maybe the only stinker, and it wasn't something that it was just a little too sweet for me, was their lager. It was a sweeter style lager. I still like the lager, but
that's more what your palate's considered, and that's like your style.
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was a little too sweet for a lager, and that would be the only one that I would probably not go back to. Like, I had it, I enjoyed it, but it's something I wouldn't dive back into. Like the Landon's lager from Liquid Noise. If if there's a way I can get a pipeline of that to my home, I would probably have a problem. It was that good.
Well, I think the same is to be said really with any of these places. It's like, I mean, there was a point when I went up to Treehouse and I had plenty of Treehouse, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like the best shit in the world. Like, it just blew me away and stuff. But I don't know, if I lived next to Treehouse and I had Treehouse all the time, would I feel that way? I don't know. Maybe I would get burnt out on Treehouse. I just don't know. I mean, I think that's the great thing about craft beer is there's just so much variety, Yeah. And like I said, like lately, I've just had this overwhelmingly amount of New Trail, and I'm really starting to get critical about their beer because, like, I have just so much of it, and I have so many different kinds and so much of it. It's like I'm really starting to get nitpicky with it, But I mean, maybe the same would be said about Treehouse if I lived like close to there and I had their stuff all the time, or if I were had access to Pizza Boy and I had a ton of their stuff, would I be I might be the same. It's just like, I don't know. I think that's the great thing about craft beer is there's just so much variety and stuff, but with like everything that's going on and stuff, I mean, it's just a lot of the places that I've been to that pick this stuff up, I just haven't been to lately, so I'm kind of just getting what I can, and I mean, I'm happy, but I don't know. I mean, the tables turn once again,
No,
I don't know,
No, definitely nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you really look at it with everything going on right now, like, it really puts a damper on.
Hey guys, I got to jump off.
All right, Dad. Thank you for. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Yep, I'll talk to you guys later.
Real quick, were you able to stop at any places at all today for beer?
No, I just grabbed something to drink for sitting in the room and watching some TV. But
what is the beer you're drinking?
Some tomorrow. The Rusty Chain by Flying Bison Brewery out of Buffalo.
All right. Well, if you got to go. But if you want, just make a quick video and post on the page.
All right. I'll see if I can do that. If not, I'll do it tomorrow.
Cool. All right. We'll see you next week. Love you, bud.
See ya.
Bye.
So if you really think about it, like, I mean, it really puts a damper, like, with people going to their typical runs, like my Hudson Valley runs, like the EQ runs, and like trying all this different beer out, because chances are, like, you're eventually going to get to a point where we're going to do a share wine life and all that.
I'm going to be honest.
Be awesome.
For when we first started the show, we had the same 5 or 6 breweries a lot, and a lot of it was Hudson. I mean, there was a point where I was burnt out of Hudson Valley. I was, and I even told Ben, I was like, dude, they all. It's like, I get it, and you listen to people and they're like, dude, Hudson Valley is the greatest of the great when it comes to this style of beer. Like, they are the king ding-a-ling. But we were drinking it every single Friday, and it was just sour. But
Can't
maybe
eat the same meal over and over. You're gonna get tired.
And I was like, dude, I'm not digging it anymore. So I think sometimes you do need to take a break from a brewery.
You definitely do, and like even I got like that then too, because that's all what my fridge has then as well.
And this is not a knock to Hudson Valley, but
There's
I mean,
nothing wrong with
Ben,
that.
we live in Pennsylvania,
and
Ben would drive 2.5 hours to go to this
almost
brewery.
3 hours,
almost
pretty
3
much.
hours.
Yeah.
We would review their beers, and Ben would talk to them a little bit and be like, "Hey, like, we do this podcast." And they would just kind of dismiss them, just like, all right, cool, you know what I mean? And it was kind of not that I would get frustrated. I wouldn't be frustrated because I don't care. A brewery doesn't owe us anything.
Yeah.
But for a guy who's willing to spend as much money as he did in their beers,
and drive up there,
and drive 3 hours to go there, and he would refuse to go to any Pennsylvania breweries because he enjoyed the atmosphere, he enjoyed the people there, and not so much he like. Give the guy a pat.
I didn't refuse. It's more like
he didn't.
I appreciate them a lot more because it just put me in a nice spot.
Yeah,
like
he liked the atmosphere, and he didn't expect. And this is, I'm not speaking for Ben, but he didn't expect Hudson Valley to kiss his ass or say, "Oh, you do a podcast? Cool." Like, you know what I mean? But it was just like, at least acknowledge the guy a little bit and be like, you know what, you're driving 3 hours.
I even drove with a buddy to Burley Oak, and I even plugged our podcast then too. Like, and that's in Berlin. That's 4 hours. From where we are.
Berlin's
and that's
down there.
Fucking nutty.
So it was like, not so much I was telling him to maybe not do the other half in Hudson Valley runs in New York all the time, but like, let's more or less focus on some Pennsylvania breweries, because we haven't even tapped into a quarter of what's available in Pennsylvania.
There's one down
you know
by,
what I mean?
Who knows? Anything can happen at this point in time.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like,
Adamstown has a brewery.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the thing is like, there's so many, just as much as there is different beers, there's
another one. There's 2.
Yeah.
There's one in their little town.
Just as much as there is as so many beer companies in the place.
Yeah.
There are so many beer podcasts. You know what I mean? So
it makes sense though. Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, just another fucking beer podcast. You know what I mean? And maybe we qualify as just another one. But
the Natural Ice podcast.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't expect any brewery to give us anything or to say, oh, because you reviewed our beers, we should welcome you in. No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, we're not trying to really kiss your ass about it, but at the same time though, we're just like, hey, look, like, you have a really great atmosphere, great community going on. That's the reason why I kind of did like all my like reviews. I'm like, hey, look at everybody having a good time, just enjoying beer, and like you have people.
God. Ben would have his phone so far up his own nose.
I don't care.
I'd be messaging him like, Ben, when you get drunk, just stop doing video reviews, because Ben would just be like, hey everyone, he'd be like, no, it tastes good. See you later.
You see part of his top of his head.
Yeah, he'd have the phone angled down, so it's like he's like looking.
That like old guy on Facebook.
Yeah, like
hey, you're cute.
Like he just figured out how to use. He just figured out how to use fire. You know, he's just like, hey,
figure out how to use fire.
He's looking down. And he's like, oh, I'm here and I'm trying this beer, and he just puts the camera right in someone's face, and they're like, and they're just like, yeah, cool, man. You know what I mean? Like, they just did not want any parts of it. Like, no warning that Ben's like, I'm live on Facebook. What do you think? And they're like, I think you should stop doing that.
Oh, God.
My favorite with Ben is like when he goes, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Let me chew on it a bit. Let me chew on it a little bit, yeah.
Pretty good.
Listen, man,
I play on the joke, too. So
I love Ben-isms. There's a lot of Ben-isms. And when you hang out with Ben long enough, you pick up on Ben-isms. Our show is named after a Ben-ism, like Bangin Beers. Like, Ben would be like, hey, we're going to go do this and this. And, all right, guys, let's bang it out. Let's go do it. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, the best name of our beer show is Bangin Beers. Like, we're banging them out. You know what I mean? Like,
People love the fucking name. They're like, "Are you really fucking the beer?"
Yeah, we think
Like,
we're
yes.
yes, we are. We,
It's like,
we,
yes.
we pop the top of the can off and we go to town like a fleshlight on it.
The sharp.
All right, Andy, take that little sip you got and let's see what we got.
So I think they smell exactly.
Here we go. Let's see.
This is the moment of
Footpath
truth.
smells exactly like Trail Runner to me.
Okay.
So that's it. And I think this one is a little more
It's a
whitish.
little bit lighter,
I wanna
yeah.
I would consider that
Colored wise,
It's like a creamier color.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that one was more yellow the first.
It's very
one.
light.
Okay.
Ain't no one better than Andy Hatter.
This one isn't as bad. This one seems like it's more weaker.
Whoa,
He
Andy!
It's
didn't
not
even
as
make a
bad
face. Get the
as
last
that
little
first
mouthful in there.
one.
Get the last little sip in there.
Wow.
He's like, I didn't like it that
It's like,
much.
all right. Like, Andy's just like, oh.
Yeah, it's not as stomach turning as the other one.
Do you get a little more of a smoother,
Stomach
creamier?
turning.
Yeah, it is. It does smoother, and this one tastes like there's some type of juice in, like a orange,
Like a
or
juicier,
something.
yeah. So exactly what. So the
So they are different.
Yeah, the flavor profile is juicy, mouthfeel, or creamier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it has smoother taste, but it's not cream soda.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, it's better than
He
the other
didn't,
one.
ladies and gentlemen. I know we don't do this show on camera anymore,
Yeah.
and if you want that to change, you can always go buy merch or make a donation because we need to buy a new laptop. I spent a lot of money on brand new audio equipment and cameras, and then realized. So, pro tip: if you're going to be a video audio podcast, it is great to go buy great audio equipment. But if you go buy a whole bunch of really expensive cameras and then you try to plug them into an older laptop and run
They can't handle it.
and run programs to video edit,
They run 100 times worse.
you are going to hate your fucking life. So I have like a 20-year-old laptop, 15-year-old laptop that just can't handle it anymore. So if you want our podcast to go back to video, make a donation or buy some merch because it helps us out. But when Andy drank that, he didn't even make a face.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like
That's the wild thing about that.
offensive when it hit my tongue. Like the first one. The first one was like, oh, like I don't know. But which one is the first one stronger?
No, a little bit.
A little bit,
okay,
by
maybe
like
that's- maybe that-
0.4.
I mean, it kind of.
But they are two different styles.
That same Bernie feeling a little
Yeah,
bit.
so
I mean,
this
it's not bad.
is
It's
an
not-
Indian Pale Ale, and this is a New England.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what
Just keep in mind, we substantially step up our game with the next two beers.
Yeah, so the next two are going to a lot stronger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the Indian Pale Ale, the reason they made these beers the way they did, and they have a little more of that burny, boozy, is the style of Indian Pale Ale was they made beer and they would have to ship it from India to England. So they'd have to put it in this different preservatives in it, which were these hops to make
Okay.
it last. So when it got to the
still
location,
all right,
It would
yeah.
taste great.
It wouldn't skunk or taste like
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah. And that style has transferred over and became popular again.
So did
They're
everyone
f-
say that this one is better than that one? That the footpath is better than the trail run?
For me, I believe Ben both
think
gave us
everyone-
a higher
yeah.
score of the footpath.
yeah, I
over the-
definitely like
yeah.
the footpath a lot better than
Yeah,
Jason-
I mean,
Jason was
for
in-
me, it's pretty much so
Dead
the
even.
same.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so this next one we're gonna do.
You know, it's almost like a banana. That's what
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay,
Pick it up.
I didn't get banana,
Well,
but
I mean that is possible to get like tropical type of
Yeah.
taste from it. That's
Fucking
not
Andy,
a line.
man.
Yeah. Well, when are you guys gonna do the hard soda episode? All the not your fathers and the black cherry one.
we can do that.
We will definitely
We're
do
gonna do that.
That's
when
what
we
I
get
mean.
a
That is
bunch of
what
girls
tasty.
to come over.
Will you come over for that episode?
Yeah, because that's stuff that I might actually like.
All right, so
I
that's
don't think I could drink
So-
a whole one though.
that's
All
a
right.
that's a few, well, no,
Yeah.
we won't make you drink a full bottle. We do the same thing. We
Yeah.
split it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we go like around
I
the table.
thought-
How many people? You know what
So
I mean?
future episode that Andy wants to join, just
Is
put
a
it-
hard soda.
is a hard soda
Yeah, the
episode,
Mountain-
not your
I have
father's.
The
no
Mountain
problem
Dew
with
ain't
that.
bad, and the root beer ain't bad. The root beer is a little too micro.
They have like a
Are we
Sprite.
gonna be
They
able
have a
to
ginger
find-
ale. They have a cream orange.
There's a bunch of. There's
Yeah.
orange. There's grape. There's the black
Go ahead,
cherry.
Jason. I'm sorry.
Are we going to be able to find 2 or 3 other girls to join them on that episode?
Listen, we did a seltzer episode. There's
we did that seltzer shootout,
Oh
and
my
that was
God, that was a
fucking
shit show.
fun. That was fun.
You gotta. Do they still make those? What are they called?
Boone's Farms.
No, the little ones. They're like the wine coolers or whatever. The little.
Yeah,
ones.
like the
they
Boone
do
Farms, yeah.
Seagrams, yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
the
little, like,
Seagrams and
different
shit.
colored
They
ones?
still do. Yeah.
all right. So the next one we're about to pour here, we're gonna crack.
All right, you go ahead, Tony. You
is,
do the
uh,
double. I'll do the triple.
No, you can read it. I won't take away your thunder.
No, cracking it open.
No, I'm gonna read it so you crack it.
No, do like the Sandman.
Listen, I have a style. I have a just. Don't
All
put
right,
your phone
I'll
down,
roll with
crack
it.
it. Pour
I'll
it.
roll with it.
Now is this rained out?
This is rained out. This is the 9% ABV from New Trail. This is an Imperial Double New England. So this is going to be on the same lines of the New England style for this, but it's a double, which.
What does that mean?
It's double hopped. So when they brew it, they add another layer of hops and brew it again to make it stronger.
It smells the same.
Another fun fact, Andy. Then too, if they say imperial, chances are it is a double as well. So.
Yeah, so there's ones that they'll say
it's an imperial double.
Imperial IPA, and what that pretty much is saying is a double IPA without calling it a double.
So usually the rule of thumb is like a double IPA is like between 8 and a double IPA is like 8 and over, and a triple IPA is like 10 and over.
Yeah.
So if it's a double IPA, it's between 8 and 9.99, and a triple IPA is 10 and over.
So this is at a 9.
Anything less than 8 is just a regular.
Does more hops always equal higher alcohol content?
Yeah,
it would. I would say most likely generally. With
the less sugar you put in your beer, the higher your alcohol content is going to be. The sugar takes away the alcohol. So if you have a really sugary flavor, it's probably going to be a little lower.
So that's what I would.
Yeah. This has been checked in by 6 of my friends. It averages a 4.29. Sorry, I got the beer burps already. One of the hops, I believe, from the last one is similar. The last one had Citra in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one has Citra and Sambo.
And Chinook.
And no Chinook in this one.
Sambo shows in it, though.
The Sambo show, yeah. This has been checked in 2,505 times. It averages a 4.11. So it's a pretty high score. Jason checked it in with that pretty Pizza Boy glass. I like that a lot.
Hell yeah.
Eric, you can upload a picture? See, I don't know
so
anything
people
about
put
that.
pictures with their beers.
Yeah.
So I've been taking mine with my Ric Flair glass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Eric took it with a nice New Trail glass. I do have a New Trail glass. I should have probably used my New Trail glass tonight, but I'm really into my new Ric Flair glass. I have 2 wrestling style glasses, thanks courtesy of Ben, and
you're welcome.
Maybe some new ones because I think my dad might have hopefully got me the other ones for my birthday.
May or may not got
may or may not have got them for my birthday. There's actually Spindle Tap. It's our new label. I don't know if you see on the table. They made a beer called the Stunner.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so
cool.
there's 5 glasses that you can get for $30, which is a really, really good deal. But one's called the Stunner, one's called the Chin Music, and it's Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin and Ric Flair.
Sleeper hold.
The sleeper hold is his Piper.
Yeah.
And then the other one's the Atomic Leg Drop, and it's Hogan.
I wonder if Steve Austin has drank that beer. I was gonna say
Probably.
That would be pretty wild.
They
Steve
are
Austin's
from Texas. They are from Texas.
I'm sure they probably gave him some for free.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about Spindle Tap, they actually make like a Punch Out style beer then too, and it's like all like with all the graphics and
cool,
the pixels. Yeah. Oh, I want to actually get that.
Did you
beer.
ever drink Steve Austin's beer?
Yes. My dad is
Was it
working
good?
on to get us more of it.
He has a couple. Is it just the one type?
Yeah, the
or?
Broken Skull. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Did you ever
Broken
drink
Skull.
the Eric Bischoff beer, the Buffalo Bill Cody?
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he had.
And he's like, yeah.
I don't think he makes it.
There's an
anymore.
Eddie Guerrero and Chavo beer called
there?
the El Guerreros.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a Mexican lager, but we can't find it. Yeah.
I like how Andy was like, yeah, you have Eric Bischoff's beer? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like hot shit on here. Already, man. Shooting from the hip and fucking hitting your target,
I know
man.
my wrestling related stuff.
Yeah, if it's wrestling rated, but he knows it. Let's get
though.
Let's get a different angle here.
What was Steve Austin's called? The Broken Skull, right?
Broken Skull IPA.
Yeah, Broken Skull. That was actually pretty decent.
Broken Skull.
And that's about mine, because Stone Cold said so.
I knock one back and knock 2 back. Broken Skull.
You know, the funny thing, I say like the best impersonator of Stone Cold Steve Austin was on Mad TV, Will Sasso.
Yeah.
Oh my God, was he funny?
Ben, read off this beer.
Okay, Rained Out is a 9% alcohol by volume Imperial Double New England IPA.
It smells fantastic.
Rained Out is a hazy double IPA brewed with oats and Germanic malts, drenched in hops with Sabro and Citra. Expect high tropical or aromatics, complemented by a mysterious coconut-like aroma.
Ooh.
Stay dry with us.
I'm interested of why they called it Rained Out, but when you smell it, it kind of has that rain smell.
I think they kind of wanted to go with like a rainforest, or like after like a fresh rain.
This is probably one of the best smelling beers of the night so far.
And I agree with you on that. What about you, Andy?
I think they all smell the same.
That's all right.
Like,
to be honest with you,
unbiased
I looked up
Andy.
Sabro.
I love it.
Sabro is an aroma hop that is notable for its complexity and fruity and citrus flavors.
Look at Andy pulling up
It
some
imparts
beer stuff
distinct-
on his phone while he's
It
going.
imparts distinct tangerine, coconut, tropical fruit, and stone fruit, whatever the hell that is.
Stone fruit is kind of like your apricots, peaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you try them wacky fruits, because we went to Wegmans one time, bought all the wacky fruit we could that wasn't real expensive. They're not good.
Yeah.
We bought a $10 one. It was awful. It was $10 for this little whatever it was.
Yeah, right.
And I bought a star fruit. I was all excited. I was like, this is like a bad pair.
But yeah, when you're really looking at it overall, with stone fruit, it's like peaches, like that type of. Because I take it with the seeds and all. It's more like hard as stone. That's just my take on it. But that's what they mean. But yeah, I mean.
I don't smell. Could you guys smell coconut? Or do you taste coconut?
Sabro is a really tough hop to really.
You definitely will smell coconut in some of these beers for sure.
So, I could really get a little hint of it. I could.
Yeah, definitely you'll get coconut flavor.
Real
from
quick,
some
I
of
just
these
want
beers.
to. I just looked it up. So remember when I told you that Port and PA did another podcast?
Yeah.
It's called the Mighty Things, the Beer Mighty Things podcast. I don't know where they're out of, but you can check them out on the Beer Mighty Things on Spotify, Anchor.
There you go.
Yeah, so definitely go check them out. They did another interview with Port and PA, Nate. I actually just sent them a message on Instagram to see if they're interested in doing a collaboration episode. So maybe we
Fuck
can,
yeah, man.
maybe we can do something with them.
There you
We're
go.
like the other half of podcasts in PA.
Yeah.
You know,
Whoa.
I have a possible guess. I think he'll probably do it. But you know that Carbon Knight comic I told you about, the
Yeah.
hero from Centralia? The artist added me on Facebook. And I was like, is this the same guy? And I thought his name was Chris King. But the way he writes it, it's Chris Ring. But I was like, So I was like, I'm going to message him. I didn't message him yet, but I'm going to message him like, hey, man, I had your comic from like 94. And I'm like, would you like to come to the podcast and talk about
That'd
it?
be fantastic.
Like, even if you don't know it, but like, I imagine putting out a comic in 1994. There was no internet really.
That's nutty.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't share it on Facebook. Like, and how he went about.
That'd be
like,
a
I think
sick-
that'd be kind of pretty cool.
That would be fun.
And he did live in Ellisburg, where he lives somewhere else in Pennsylvania now. So
Nice.
his name
Oh,
is
wow. That is really
Chris
cool.
Ring is his name. So,
Yeah.
I honestly would like to get Nick Ohanian from Synthhop. He's the actual guy that makes all these glasses, collaborates with all these different artists.
I'm down. It'd be fun. Dude, the glasses are beautiful.
And
Did he make
with the
did he make
graphic
either of
style,
these
like the
two?
pixel styled
He
stuff,
made the-
and True Class Glass.
True
I
Class
would
Glass, yeah.
love to get him on
Did the
here.
Nintendo ones you can't see?
Yeah, no, that was a different
Oh,
company
okay,
that
okay,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
But they were doing more like the graphic
Wow.
ones versus oh shit,
Holy shit.
like the Dragon Ball Z ones that I've had,
Yeah.
like the Vegeta one, the Goku one, Frieza one, like the pixelated ones. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different tang to it, doesn't it?
Not I love Tang sideboard. Regular Tang is very good.
All right, so yeah, that
I used to. Fun fact.
I won't go first this time.
Fun fact: when I was younger, I used to get Tang and put like a little bit of gin in it, like gin and Tang.
How younger were you?
Like maybe like 16, 17.
Whoa,
Oh, man.
whoa! I'm
Like-
just drinking Tang, Mom.
Like
Breaking the
Saturday,
law.
Sunday, and just like, oh, I'll take a little
Drinking
bit.
Tang and stuff.
Like I'd be like,
I hate that one of you guys said coconut before I drink this beer because that's all I'm getting. now.
really?
Yeah.
Well, it does say coconut. It says coconut in the beer description, and when I looked up the hop description.
All right, I'll let Ben go first.
okay, so Sabro to me, again, it's a little bit of a tougher hop. But it really, like, you really have to balance it out overall. It's definitely not a bad beer by any chance, especially for a double. I would definitely give it a 3, just because, like, I think you have to have a third hop with it, just because. And I just, again, that's a tough hop to master. And then you remember when we had Interborough and Not Cool in high school at that one point in time, you're like,
Ben,
what the?
I've recorded.
I know you.
500
Like,
total
I know.
podcasts.
But
I
I'm just
can't-
saying though, like when you had the reaction to that, you're like, what the hell was it? Is
Yeah.
this? That's that Sabro hop in there. It's like it's more of a very dominant.
I'm coming into this episode with really bad acid reflux.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm at the point where every time I take a sip, I feel like I'm a full balloon.
Ugh.
And we have one more beer to go, so I'm trying to. I took it first sip and I had to like think about it for a second. I was like,
Would water help, or would that make it worse?
and I feel like I'm up to here. One, I can't take it tonight because I can't mix the pill I normally take with alcohol.
Yeah.
They said don't do it. I don't know if I'll die or not.
Like
But
Marilyn
whoa.
Monroe.
so I just got to deal with it for the night and then take one in the morning.
Oh,
But yeah. So this beer, I
This is brained out.
I tasted it, and for being a 9%, man, is it fucking smooth. This goes down nice. And and it might be because of it. This is more of a this isn't Indian Pale Ale, which is not like the New England style. So I don't know, but it's really I enjoy it, but I do get that second half of coconut, which kind of grosses me out because I'm not a fan of coconut. So I'm very torn because the first half of the beer is fantastic. Like if I didn't get that coconut aftertaste, this would be a high 4 for me because it's so smooth. And then the second taste that hits your taste buds as it's like sitting is coconut, and it grosses me out. I just don't like the flavor of coconut. I don't like that coconut flavor.
I can drink like some coconut stuff or taste, but I wouldn't want to slice a coconut cake or not.
Yeah. It starts off very tropical, citrusy, and light. It is very crushable. I will say that too. That's one of the descriptions.
Wow.
It is very strong though. It is a 9. But that second half to me, I do get a coconut. I do get a little bit of coconut in there.
I don't know about you, Tony, but I feel like that the doubles have a little bit of a tough time finding like some middle ground where it's like you get that, you know, the taste and, you know, the balance of like the smoothness is everything else. Like singles, all right, fine. Triples, I know Equilibrium does them very well, and it's super smooth. And you can have like 2 or 3 Equilibriums of their triples, and they're like 10.5, and it's super smooth. You can drink those like pretty much all day. Like if you went in rapid succession, then again you're gonna be fucking out of it. But at the same time though, like it's a solid triple overall
all day.
But I'm just saying though, like 3 at a time. You know what I mean? Like wow, like holy shit. But I find like the double can't find a real middle ground. I don't think we ever found a brewery that actually hit a middle ground when it comes to a double. That's just my opinion about it.
Yeah.
Now, do you taste coconut?
I kind of do. But then again, I like coconut then too. So like I could blow through that and be like, oh, cool. And then I want to taste everything else then afterwards. When it comes to it.
Jason, what do you think for when it comes to Rained Out?
Well, I mean, this is the second time around for Rained Out. Rained Out was brewed last year, and you know, initially when I had it, I really, really liked it a lot. In fact, I gave it a 4.5.
Wow.
The Sabro hop, I mean, I'm not a big fan of coconut either, but then I had a sixtel of that Papa hop from Rotunda, which was on the Sabro hop, and I kind of got a little bit more accustomed to it. But for me, this time around, again, with things changing and me having more of this, it's still a 4 for me. I mean, I kicked it back a little bit. I mean, it's a really good beer, but, you know, it lost a little bit for me. I mean, just because I've been so over enamored with these beers lately, you know, I don't know. You know, it's still really, really good. I mean, it's a 4, you know, but it's not what it used to be.
And what did you two give it? No,
I gave it a 3.
And what did you say, Tony?
I gave it 3.5.
Okay. So far, Rained Out's winning.
For the total, for
Footpath.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, so you guys actually like it a little bit less than the other two, right?
Like I said, I love if I didn't get that back half coconut, this would easily be
a 4,
a 4, possibly even higher. I think this beer starts out.
What was the other one that they had? It was like Cryo something. I think was the other
Cryosphere.
one. Was that?
I think so.
Sabro too, because this is what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Like I said, I really like this beer, but that ending coconut definitely puts a little bit of damper on it. Like I want to crush this and go, but that coconut at the end kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, so here we go. Cryosphere, which was the other one from them.
Yeah.
Ben gave it a 3.75, and you gave it a 3.5, and that had Sabro in it.
Yeah.
And this beer really reminds me of that one, except it's a little bit better in my opinion.
Here's the thing, just putting it out there. Maybe this is a tribute to New Trail. Maybe this is their strategy. I don't know. But if you put out these 4 beers, so far, 3 out of 4, they do not taste similar. Now, you're pulling out that Rained Out tastes very similar to Cryosphere. maybe
well, it's a Sabro hop. I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe what they're doing-
you definitely taste coconut.
Yeah, so maybe what they're doing is they'll put out 4 or 5 beers, not cycle the other ones in, and they have it set up like a schedule. Like, for these 6 months, we're going to put out these 8 beers, and then once these 8 beers are done, we'll put out another 8 that are similar to the last 8 we put out, but just have different names. So that might be their style as well. You can only make so many songs before they sound similar. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
AC/DC.
maybe it's AC/DC. Yeah. So and listen, AC/DC is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll listen to them all day long. But you can't listen to 3 of their albums back to back to back. You know what I'm saying?
No, you want to listen to Back in Black for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
way.
So maybe that's their strategy where if they have a beer that's similar, they don't release it at the same time,
That
which
makes
is
sense. Yeah.
which is smart. Because these 4 beers, they all have different characteristics and all
They
have different
brew
flavors.
them quarterly, and then another quarter, another quarter, and another
Yeah.
quarter.
Now, is there any beer that they make all the time, like their best seller? Do they make that?
I honestly don't know.
Or like you mean a flagship?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They call it like their flagship beer. When you go there, it's always on tap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never really been to the brewery.
No, I've never been there either.
Yeah.
Because I know we used to go to that one. I don't know if Andy ever told you about the one in South Carolina, Liberty. No, something. Liberty. Yeah, Liberty. I think it was called. And they always had their. Like, they always had 12 beers they'd make, but there was always a couple that were always the same every year. Because I'm like, I remember seeing that last year.
I don't know if we can. Well, Matt, we'll say Matt Turner, Andy's tag team partner. I didn't realize he was a huge.
Yeah,
beer-
he's into it. Yeah,
he's a huge craft
Obviously,
beer
I
guy,
never
too.
talked about that with him. you
Yeah,
know?
he eventually wants to do this podcast with us, even if he
That'd be
just
pretty
Yeah,
wild.
so we'll figure something out one day. Maybe after a wrestling show, we can go and have a beer
There you go.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try this one. This is rained out, right?
This is
Rain it
unbiased Andy's
I don't
opinion.
smell coconut again. I'm no beer drinker. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of Neutral, and not to kind of interrupt
we got
the
a
flow,
face.
but
We got a face. Go ahead, Jason. Let him process
did
that.
you see
Oh.
the I think the exclusive to their brewery this week?
There's coconut, but it's like
Hold on. And he's going through
Straight-
it right now.
straight-
And he's going through a process.
straight citrusy alcohol. Like, I just taste just booze, just like no flavor, just
Really? So to me, this is
Boozy-
this is actually smoother than the Trail Runner.
boozy lemon. But then there's coconut at the end.
Yeah. He's getting more of a palate for it, though.
No, for really picking
Yeah.
it up, man. Hey,
But ugh,
No.
no, I don't think. I think the first one's still the worst. But for me,
so
Trail
you're
Runner.
ranking
Yeah,
ranking it
yeah.
third, second,
Yeah.
first. So that's
he has a little. Andy has a notepad here. He's actually taking notes.
that
Oh, I
is-
love it.
It's
Yeah.
worse.
we're gonna take a picture of unbiased
Oh, my
Andy's
bad. Terrible handwriting.
notepad.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jason. I'm
You
sorry.
should take a picture of his face every time he tries
Yeah.
one of these.
At first, I was like, "This ain't bad." I'm
Do
like,
like a
"Oh,
collage.
Yeah.
it's bad. It's
Yeah.
real bad. I can't finish that little." No.
We're not gonna. Don't take a picture. Go ahead, Jason. Give me your little. Your what you're saying there.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if you've seen. I think it was a brewery exclusive to New Trail, but the Deep and Meaningful Things, I think it was called.
Okay.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I'm not certain. Deep and meaningful things. Where's that from?
It was called like something deep and meaningful. It was It was released this week from New Trail, but it was a collab they did with Imprint.
Ooh, that. Anything with like the Imprint name, believe it or not, with the collaborations, Imprint besides Other Half really collaborate with like a whole bunch of breweries. It got to the point where like 450 North, when they collaborate with Imprint, people were just like swarming.
Was Imprint that one out in the Long Island?
That's in Hatboro, PA. That's
Well,
like or
it was
Hatfield,
like
Hatfield.
Yeah, they did like a hazy double.
It's roughly
like,
about like 2
which
hours
was-
away from here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I thought it was worth mentioning. You know, I haven't
No,
had
no.
it, but I saw that they did it. You know.
No, for real. Like, I know for a fact, like, it was so funny because I was coming home. I was going to be going back home because I usually drive over to my buddy's place. He's actually coming up this weekend, and he's, like, literally 10 minutes away from the brewery. He goes, "Hey, Benno, like, we're coming up, but I'm going to bring some Imprint along." I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah, I'm game for it," but there are some people who are like, I said to my one buddy, I'm like, "Hey, I'm making my way back home, like what?" And I said, "You know, I'm going back home. What's going on?" He goes, "Hey, do you know that there's a soft opening for Imprint?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, I'll take a look at it. Literally 10 minutes away from my buddy's place. Drove there, and I had like 3 or 4 of their smoothies, and it was a cherry one. Oh my god,
Right.
was that fucking stellar?
Hey Jason, real quick, on Untapped, has Bresky's ever toasted one of your check-ins yet?
They did for me.
They did me too.
Maybe, I don't know.
They toasted my Haze Charmer when I bought it from them and tagged them.
I'll have to look at mine.
They got about fucking $600 or $700 of my money. They
We did an episode 1 week in Harrisburg. Went to Bresky's and Jason dumped $1,000 there so far.
That's
I mean, it's like ridiculous, dude. I mean, they have so much of my money, it's not even funny. I mean, I've been back there, I don't know how many times since, you know.
They did my Twisted Galaxy from March 8th. They toasted it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, Bresky's, good job,
I mean,
guys.
I got it. They really have their shit together there. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, I used to think Sabatini's was the king when it came to kind of that stuff, you know, but I mean, Bresky's has certainly taken the crown for me.
Yeah, I feel like that, like, this, like, podcast and everything else, it really brings a little bit of competition with, like, the beer distributors and all, and it really makes it nice knowing that, like, hey, we're trying to be better. Hey, what is the competition doing? We're just the guys that are trying beer, buying beer, how the experience was. That's how I really feel about it when it comes to that. So, hey, let it ride. Bresky's, I never had a bad experience with, and I went there twice. Might go there a third time,
I mean,
fourth
they're
time,
awesome,
fifth time. You know what I mean? And you're buying the sixtels and all that. Not only that, you have them picking up Equilibrium fucking sixtels then too on top of that. So what's that going to show you versus like a major beer distributor?
They move a lot of product too, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they really move the beer there, and I think that's why they get so much of it.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like they
Andy's
really
sip?
do know.
Yeah, you can
want me
try.
to-
I don't want to drink it. That's for sure.
I'm trying my hardest to get this down, but like I said, it starts off fantastic with that coconut. It's grossing me out.
No big deal, guys. I'm like the disposal at this point.
I didn't think the coconut was that bad. I mean, because that Cryosphere or whatever that one you were talking about, that was way more coconut-y than this.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah.
Start the next one, crack it,
Sure.
read the description. I'll be right back.
Sure.
He's gonna go puke.
Yeah. Make some room for this one.
And no joke, 4 out of 4 for the pour in the new Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball glass.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not kidding you. I fucking nailed it every time. Needle in the
That's
thread every
kinda hard to
time.
pour into because it's that little.
You got to get that.
It's about
you
the
gotta get
size
that
of a
little-
$50.
Kennedy half, yeah, man. Yeah, Kennedy half.
No, a Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
They're a full dollar. Right?
I would say if
This one smells like there's more pine in it. Don't read the description. So I get pine.
I'm not gonna do that to
second
Andy.
orbit?
Yeah,
second orbit.
This
Yep.
one is second
Yeah,
orbit. This
this
one's
is-
got a cool label, a Hazy Triple Ipa.
Hell yeah, second orbit. Triple.
Okay, so all right, second orbit,
poured up a
Jason.
lot. Let me-
In your opinion, so
I'm cracking one right now.
So let me ask you this. So I know we had Equilibrium triples, and personally for me, my one buddy is like, Equilibrium triples are king. If you let them sit and so on and so forth. And I really hold on to that account, and they're wow. I love their triples. Where does second orbit stand with you? Are they gonna be stellar like the can or what?
I mean, look, we're talking triple IPA now, so
Right.
I mean, we're getting down to business with neutral. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what like a 10 something. What is this?
10
Did you look at?
Okay, so I'll read it off. So second orbit is a 10.1 triple New England IPA. And Send Orbit is a hazy triple IPA brewed for our second trip around the sun. Brewed with heavy amounts of oats, orbitally hopped with Mosaic, Galaxy, Citra, and our new favorite experimental hop, HBC 692. Expect ripe, tropical, rich citrus and balanced pine. Hope you've enjoyed our second trip as much as we did.
Yeah,
Wow.
so basically this is their second anniversary of their brewery is what this is. So this is celebrating 2 years of New Trail is what this one is.
Okay,
And
so
I mean,
go ahead.
dude, this one is banging for me. I mean, this is New Trail. I mean, this is awesome. You know,
You're about a quarter balls deep into this one. You gave it a 4.75
dude, you know, like,
on that. Wow, blew up a score.
mean, this is like,
God damn
you
it,
know,
man.
Again, when we're getting back to New Trail, you know, like
This is
we're
what makes
talking triple.
this is what makes you fall in love with them.
Yeah, this is what brings me back. And again, you know, and this is the thing, dude, because like the other night I had the triple first and then I had like that trail runner and I'm like, dude, I'm going from a triple IPA to a single. And again, that's like, it kind of all came in perspective then for me. It's like, you know, these single IPAs are good, but man, this triple IPA is fucking slamming. You know what I mean? It's
Jason,
just like,
Jason's drinking beers and having spiritual epiphanies. He's just like,
I know.
He's like a triple. He sips on. He goes.
you know, like in Far Cry or like Assassin's Creed, when you have that vision and the eagle takes you on
Yeah.
a journey through the mountains.
Yeah.
You see the Indian.
It is what it is. I mean, I'm fully erect for this one. You know what I mean? Like, I gave it a 4.5, and honestly, it
No,
might be
you
a
get
5
you.
for
No,
me.
I'm not gonna lie. You gave it a 4.75. You're a quarter balls deep on this
Yeah,
one,
you're
boy.
real close.
Wow.
Look, I mean, if I gave
That's
it a
nutty.
4.75, it
pun
probably should
intended.
be a 5, to be honest. You
Yeah.
know. I mean, you know, this is what it's all about for me. I mean, there's no punches pulled with this. I mean, it's full bodied, it's full flavored, it's full alcohol, it's a triple IPA, it's everything that I dream about. You know, I mean, if I gave it a 4.5, I gave it a 4.75. In all honesty, it should probably be a 5 because this is what it's all about for me.
You know what? I'll
A
even,
glowing review.
You know what? I'll say
Yeah,
this
it's
right.
good.
I'll say this right now. It is a bit, like I said, with New Trail. I'm glad that they go with the basics when it comes to it, and I'm gonna tell you right now.
Did you read all the description of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely did that way beforehand.
Sorry, I went
No,
to
you're
go.
good. You're good. You're good.
I'm going to be completely upfront. I went and I had to dump the
Yeah,
other
that-
beer out.
Yeah.
Wow, Jesus! Would you give that?
I gave it a 3.5. Listen, it starts
How
off.
do you give something a 3.5 and dump the beer out?
Yeah, that should be a 1.5.
I
a 5.
Here's the thing: if I wasn't so full with acid reflux and everything going on right now,
Yeah.
I would have been able to choke that down. But if I would have crushed that,
But you just said it, choke it down, and you're giving it a 3.25.
if it didn't have that, everything about that beer, I enjoy. If I had this beer and I wasn't
If
going
he
through what I was
didn't-
going
if-
through,
if
I
it
can
didn't-
finish. I can finish that full beer and have multiples.
But would you still like it?
Yes, the coconut on the end does deter its score, but it wasn't enough for me to absolutely hate the beer. I think everything about that beer was good, just that hint of coconut in the end. Like right now with my acid reflux, I am like, I already have a really bad gag reflex.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes when my acid reflux is so bad and I put mouthwash in the morning or I brush my teeth and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
and I'm like ready to puke. But yeah,
God damn, Tony, you're a broken human being.
yeah, dude.
Man.
Yeah, well, I went and got blood work done, and the doctor was not impressed with my liver.
The
And so-
doctor's just like,
he
whoa.
was like, bro, you should definitely get another test done.
It's not like Wagyu steak. It's just
Yeah.
more like
Um,
whatever. I don't know. Sorry.
so
Sorry to pick on you there.
yeah, so I didn't hate it. It just right now with my, I'm like super heightened right now because of my that coconut overpowered it, and I'm kind
Well,
of yeah.
look, you're not going to get any coconut with this next one. I
No,
can tell you.
I've
that.
already have I already have a
you
couple
know,
mouthfuls of this in. This is absolutely fantastic.
And I'll tell you right now.
I-
Go ahead, Jason.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say that you crack the can and right away you get that whiff of cat piss and it's like it's on. That's
boy.
good shit right there. You know.
Oh, he knew when Jason said it's a whiff of cat piss and it's strong. You know, it's like I think it's like the
You know
dankest of
that's
the
gonna be
dank
a
when it
good
comes to
ride.
it. Like it's that sharp ammonia like
didn't have-
type of deal.
They didn't have dank in the description for this one though. Did they?
No, it's just like that. I'm mistaken for it, but like, it's that sharp ammonia, like that boozy, like super boozy profile that Jason truly likes.
It does smell.
Yeah,
terrible.
But in beer
what I
format.
crave,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It smells terrible.
Just like beer format, but like for me at least, like again, like I'll say this right now: the Hazy Triple IPA, Second Orbit. You know, again, New Trail makes a good, straightforward beer. Period. That's how I truly feel about it. The Hazy, I would say I would teeter between a 3.75 or a 4 because Equilibrium gave me something in a build and a profile with like the EQ juice, as they call it, and it makes it taste so much better and it's more flavorful. Even if you have a second or third can, you're going to taste that 100% most of the time. And like with this, they're saying, all right, you know what? We're just going to go basic. We're not going to do anything fancy. If you like beer and if you like an IPA, you don't want to go with the double, but you definitely want to go with the triple. The Hazy Triple IPA from Second Orbit is definitely up your alley. That's how I look at it. Or how I taste as.
Now, what type hops do they use in this guy?
So let me pull that up again. So it is... They did Mosaic, Galaxy, Citra, and an experimental hop, HBC 692. Now,
sounds like pot.
That's funny, the experimental hop.
Yeah.
So Mosaic is like a common one that they usually use. It's like a little bit of a wacky one, but it has a little bit of a defining taste. Galaxy, when you have it, it's super. When they say it's like a dank basement, super dank. It's just. It has that rich, earthy flavor to it. That's the best way I could go about that. Citra adds the more of like the citrus fruits onto that, like grapefruit, oranges, like not really lemons, more like grapefruits and oranges, really. And the HBC 692, I wouldn't tell you from ass from a hole in the ground with that.
It's Chemical X.
I have no idea.
That's classified. We have to kill you if we told you what that was.
So
Grown in an undisclosed location.
an undisclosed location.
Now, what does a hop look like? When
that's,
it's a
that's
little
like
bush?
Area 51 shit.
It's like a little like
It looks like a weed nugget.
Is it but like the so
Yeah,
the,
it's like-
the
it's
plant
like,
itself, the plant itself is just like a little tree.
it's like a pine cone, but like a softer
yeah,
pine
but what
cone.
is the tree itself like? What does the thing?
It's
look
kind of like they grow on vines.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
hmm
I didn't know where they grew. So
Wow.
Yeah,
I learned.
believe
I
it
didn't know if
or
it was a little
not.
tree or a bush.
Yeah, believe it or not, the one guy that I go to trivia with on Mondays to Marley's, he actually had some Cascade hops, and he showed me like the like it's like they classify it as like a bush in
Yeah.
a way, but
Oh, how about that?
it's pretty wild.
Are you a fan of Bush, Ben?
Bush. I do not like the band. I'll tell you that.
What about the beer
But-
on
but
girls?
I'm sure. Neither to both, actually. Bush with a C. Wasn't there two Bush beers? There was a BUSH and then a BUCSH. Wasn't there two?
I don't know.
Well, they did something. Their whole gimmick was like when you crack the can, we go bush.
Oh God!
It was like a rolling
Bunch of
river.
rednecks don't care what the sound makes when they open that cheap beer.
Yeah,
Is it beer? That's all they need to know. And
Yeah.
how cheap is it?
and they did like the whole thing with like the Hunter thing where they did like safety orange.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they did like a safety orange can. So like if
Did you give
wanted
a review on this yet?
I gave it a review. I'd say 3.754.
For this one, Second Orbit,
Second Orbit.
3.75.
Between 3.75 or a 4, just because I'm kind of spoiled with Equilibrium. I thought Equilibrium had a better flavor profile, had a little bit of that juice. It had something to it that really added on to the triple, where like you can drink it and it would still taste, taste a little bit different each time that you had it. But this one, again, basic. I'd only have maybe 1, maybe 2.
Wow.
Now the
Yeah.
color of this one seems to be more orangish.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's still
Is this
opaque.
This
I guess
is
you could say.
this is the triple New England. So yeah, this is banging on all cylinders for me.
All right, let me try it.
There you go.
I won't give. I'll let Andy.
I'll hold my pee in for
First off,
Andy's
it
review.
smells horrible. Like like,
And he's just like,
Let's see if we get it. I'm gonna be like,
and he's just like,
smells
no.
I'm gonna be like Howard real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna give a visual of what's going on here. Andy, take a sip. A face. Oh, all right. So at first it wasn't as bad, but then he really kicked it in overdrive.
I was like, I might have to spit that one back out.
Just imagine like a cat pissing in your mouth.
Oh. This one's the most burny and the most like just.
That's funny.
It is like an ammonia rubbing alcohol. No fruit whatsoever. No pine. Just ammonia.
This is unbiased Andy.
Cleaning agent. This is the closest thing to like if I just maybe took some lemon.
Dying right now.
Some lemon pledge
Again,
and put it
you're
in my mouth.
Again, you never really drink.
I'm no beer drinker.
You're no beer drinker.
So, yeah.
You don't really drink.
This
You don't
is- yeah.
you don't drink at all. To
No.
be quite honest with you.
So
I don't want to.
I just drank some lemon cleaner. I might have to go to fill that up so I don't.
I don't
die.
want to open the shell to the clam, Andy. But like, how long?
Never drank.
Never drank.
No, it's just never appealed to me.
You just yeah.
And then when I tried it, I was like, this is fucking terrible. And I was like, I don't understand why people drink this. And then people are like, well, you gotta learn to like it. No, I don't have to learn to like it. Maybe you'd learn to like getting punched in the face. Do you want me to punch you in the face every single day I see it? No, you don't. See?
You can learn like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't like that train of
Well,
thought.
I'm going to tell you right now, Rocky Balboa loved the get
Well,
punched
he
in
didn't
the
love
face.
it. No, he
Listen,
didn't
man.
love it. He would love to get it.
when you get in a lot of fights and then you get that
come on.
and you get that adrenaline rush. You get that adrenaline rush, and you take someone who's pretty big, their punch, and you're like, that's what all you got.
Yeah.
We're looking at you, Ivan Dragov.
It's fucking awesome. I'm not gonna say that. That's a really good high.
And Clubber Lang.
So that one was second over for me was the worst,
Wow.
Yeah.
Second orbit was the worst for Andy.
and then Trail Runner was the second worst.
All right. So for me,
Wow.
this is a 4.25. This gets the highest score for me.
Oh, wow.
I think this is super, super smooth, even with my acid reflux. At the point where I feel like I'm going to, I have to go purge or something, like a fucking girl on prom night. Yeah, I really enjoy this. I think it hits all its notes. I think for being a 10, it does not drink like a 10. I definitely can see if you're not a beer drinker.
I agree. It's not boozy at all for me.
For me, it's not boozy either. But I could definitely see how if someone's never drank before,
I felt that
it
was
can
the
be
most
the booziest.
strongest. Yeah.
Yeah.
100% is the strongest of all the beers we had. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So while we're here, we'll start off with Andy. So Andy, you're gonna pick a can and you're gonna move it forward one space,
Okay.
and that's gonna be your beer of the night.
Oh, well, that's simple. That's the footpath.
Footpath.
Yeah. So
Footpath moves
is
ahead one
forward.
spot. Ben.
That's the one I drank and did not make a face.
Yeah, Ben.
You know what? For the simplicity of it, I'm going to go with Footpath as well.
Awesome. Jason, you're probably
It's
gonna go
the
second orbit.
without a doubt. Yeah.
All right. So, oh man,
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm torn because I gave second orbit the highest score, but I also
Like
really
the drinkability of
I like the
Footpath.
drinkability of Footpath. If it came down to price,
Poor Trail Runner, not so good tonight.
if it came down to price, and I don't remember what I paid, I just walk in, I hand people my card, and I say, "Ring me out." So, oh man,
They're here since I don't know. I'm an idiot about it. Does the ones with more hops cost more than ones without?
yeah, usually
It
the
all
higher
it
alcohol
all really
content will be-
depends.
yeah.
Like
Oh, okay.
you're really looking at like if you're going like to a typical brewery, like I know like price wise, like if you're looking at like $16 to $20 for a triple, that's not doing terrible.
All right, so it's looking like we're gonna have our first ever on the show. We're gonna have a tie for first.
Oh boy,
I think
Shit.
Oh, you
Footpath,
fucking prick.
Footpath,
Oh,
and Second
boy.
Orbit are gonna be the number one beers of the night. My number two would have been Footpath. What would your number two been?
It probably would have been probably the triple.
The triple Second Orbit. Jason,
Yeah.
what would your number two be?
The rained out.
Rained Out.
I'd go with Jason, but Rained Out was the one that I wrote just bad.
It's not second.
not worse.
Yeah, so it would go. Yeah, well, that wouldn't go like that, but yeah.
If we can balance it.
No, we're not gonna try that.
Oh man, there's still more in that second orbit.
I think just overall doing this beer, and when we started this episode, we did it with the impression that we want to find out if New Trails beers do taste the same.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like
They were
you
different.
really want to classify them, and you want to prove people like, hey,
Yeah.
This is a totally different style, different taste. You know what I mean? That's a really good way to go about it.
I think to be honest, for me and my taste, I would go with a New England New Trail over I would go with an Indian Pale Ale. Not saying I don't like their Indian Pale Ales. I just really like their New England style more. That would be more my taste, considering I just scored. The two winners of the night have both been their New England Pale Ales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that they do taste different. I mean,
they do. They do not taste similar.
With that Sabro hop, you definitely, I hate they bring it up because I know you weren't a big fan of the coconut, but you definitely do taste coconut. I mean, it's got a coconut flavor to it.
Yeah, that rained out.
I mean, I've had that.
That rained out.
I've had Sabro hop enough to recognize that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely got a coconut flavor to it.
That rained out tasted fantastic until the aftertaste.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. You like what you like.
Rained out could have been my number one beer of the night.
Yeah.
If it didn't have as much coconut towards the end.
I don't know. So again, like for me, like doubles, like I feel like that there's no. I mean, there is middle ground, but it's a small sliver when it comes to middle ground. When it comes to a double, either you are very light when you do it, or you're heavy when you do it, and you're boozy. There's no. I mean, it's a very fine line to get in between. And I don't think a brewery actually did well, I'm lying about that, but with this lineup, at least with the rained out, I feel like that it could have been just maybe a little hint better. That's just me.
Yeah, none of the beers I had today were awful.
No, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I thought they were all good. The only if for me, rained out would have went last. Just because of that coconut aftertaste, but I literally enjoyed all of them.
I
think it is safe to say though with New Trail, I mean, and thankfully for all of us, Broken Heels is fucking phenomenal, man. I mean, that's one of their best IPAs, and it's available all the time, so.
Which one's that? Oh yeah, Broken Heel is fantastic. That would be their flagship.
Yeah.
Their flagship beer would be called Broken Heel, and they do different variants of it. That beer is unbelievable.
I would have loved to try the Galaxy of that. I really would have loved the Galaxy version of that, because again, like, we gravitated towards Galaxy, like, over the show.
The first time I had Broken Heels was with Compass Rose, and I walked in and I drank like 6 glasses of it, and I was like, "This is the greatest!" And I was karaokeing. I was having a blast.
Hey,
Get this lush out of here.
Hey, speaking of which, Compass Rose, I'm driving, between my house and like your house, my parents' house. I'm really hoping that they kind of sort of expand it a little bit. Then, if he was really smart about it,
Can they? I mean, that's a pretty
he
small
should
building.
he should make a second floor out of that. That's just me.
He may not have the money to.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
I don't know.
That's a lot of money to add a story.
But I'm just saying,
and
though.
when you add a bar and a second story to it, you need people up there to keep an eye on shit.
I get it. Yeah.
That just seems like a nightmare to me. If I had a bar. Even when you have a bar and you have a back room that you can't see,
No, I get it.
shit can
No.
go. I mean, and it's not the bar's fault, but like that's what if you normally go to a bar, right, and you have a second room that you can't see from the bartender standpoint, they're 9 times out of 10 the bars that you got to watch out for. Like that's when dirty dealings start happening. That's when shit starts going down.
So what brings the question up? What are they doing to are they remodeling? Are they expanding?
I don't know.
That's really the thing that.
Remember how we were talking
doing.
about? Well, actually, no, you weren't there for this. For Tornado Tag, we were talking about how some wrestlers right now, local wrestlers, are taking this time of the COVID-19 and taking their free time and really hitting the gym, really working out, really doing their thing. Maybe some local bars are doing the same thing. Like, hey, we can't be open, but we can go in here and maybe put some new tables in, maybe reupholster seats. So
You'd be dumb not to.
Yeah. If you're really into your business and you're not making money doing that, I know some bars are really doing well with this whole COVID, like selling 6-packs to go and selling selling
the beer
food
to go. Oh yeah,
and selling food to go. I know some bars are killing it. They said they're doing better than what they had if people were sitting at the bar.
Right. The demand.
Yeah, because the demand is high. So maybe when this is all over, you may walk into your favorite local establishment and it may be a completely different place.
Yeah. personally, I feel like that when everything's all said and done and all the restrictions are lifted, you're going to see a lot of packed businesses. And even if you get there at like 4 or 5
I honestly
o'clock,
think everything is going to be packed.
Oh,
Your first,
obviously,
your
but I'm
first
just saying, like 4 or 5 o'clock,
breweries-
like wow,
breweries are going to be out of control.
Wow.
You're going to see local
Restaurants,
bars,
yeah,
restaurants, local wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Barbers.
Dude,
I mean,
I
think what
can't-
business they're gonna do.
I cannot wait for that first wrestling
I
show.
know it's gonna be insane.
Oh, the crowd is going to be hot.
Because everyone's gonna be so hungry to watch anything
Yeah.
live.
That's and if depending on how everything goes in this month, I'm looking at like too many games this year because I love going to too many
Yeah, if
games.
they have it.
Oh my god! Like June 23rd is 22nd, 23rd
Yeah,
roughly.
so it all
where
depends
is.
on the gathering.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hadi was telling me today. She goes, "We never, ever, ever buy tickets in advance to anything because we never have the money to." And she goes, "Now that we're like really buckling down and we're doing well, like we went and bought tickets to the Office convention.
Yeah.
We bought tickets to the Fall Out Boy and Weezer and,
Wow,
and
yeah.
Green Day concert." And she goes, "We never buy tickets in advance." Like I bought tickets in advance to go to Monster Mania, and all of it is like not all of it has been canceled.
Did the Monster Mania get refunded?
She said it said they got refunded, but she hasn't seen it yet.
Ugh.
Yeah, and she messaged them and they're like, "We sent it.
No, God.
Sucks to be you if you didn't get it."
Yeah, that's a little
being shysters.
Yeah, but I didn't get my ticket for too many games, but they're like, we're sticking to our guns when it comes June 23rd. You know what I mean?
I think everything's going to be open by Memorial Day.
Now, does
At the
that get
latest.
a lot of people, Ben? I mean, obviously, it's not New York Comic Con, obviously.
Right.
But I mean,
right.
how many people would you say is there on like a Saturday? The Saturday.
There's quite a bit, but it's
1,000?
not like it. I would say
500?
maybe less than 1,000, but more than 500.
Okay,
I would say like maybe 800.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe 800. Just
So
be
it's a
modest
little bit
about
bigger
it.
than a small con.
Yeah. I would definitely say like, wow, like, and even the spacing overall, like people are looking and doing other shit. You know what I mean? And even if you really think about it, then too, like people actually go into the arcade all day, like free play shit, then too, and they're like, how far away from each other then too.
Yeah.
So like, and not only that, like people realize like, yeah, the arcades are a little bit dirty. They could be a little bit dirty. Fucking wash your hands after a fucking.
Here's a little secret.
17
Everything
rounds.
in life is a little bit dirty.
Here's my
Yeah.
thing. I always wanted to go to a con, right? Like go to a Comic Con.
Yeah.
And I went to my first one. I was like, everyone here just forgot to put deodorant on today.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Everyone,
I don't get it.
Everyone smells. And then you have the vendors who are selling stuff out of their attics and basements. So you have that basement attic smell
Yeah.
mixed
There's
with
a dank smell.
mixed with armpits.
Yeah.
And I was like, the whole time I walk around, I'm like, and I have a weak stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm not good with bad smells. I walk around going, "Brr."
That's one thing I don't get. Like, there's no comic or anime or something where the main character is applauded for not showering.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that
I
exists in
highly
the nerd
agree
culture.
with you on that. And like
The
the
bad
sad and like
hygiene.
the sad thing is like I work at a job where I work with some unfortunate people and they don't take advantage of situations like
Your
the
coworkers
hygiene-
are the people.
No,
that,
the people
You
I
say
deal
your
with.
coworkers.
The people I deal with.
Yeah.
Like publicly.
I would
And
probably.
the sad thing is,
I would rather
like,
hang out with the people you deal with than go to a con ever anytime.
And for real, like there's some ladies that smell like cat piss, and it's like I mean they're soaked in it for like 5 years plus.
Yeah.
And I
It's
mean
how could you
like
not know?
there's like one or two people that roll in and they fucking reek up the whole lobby, and I'm just
Ugh.
like,
That's like-
oh
I would-
my god! And people are just like turning their heads.
I would kick
like,
them out.
Oh,
I'd be like, you gotta
oh,
get
I
out.
know.
Dude, and then you have 500 Deadpools running around thinking they're the funniest people on the planet.
Yeah, the Deadpool thing calmed down a little bit now because it's not as popular. A couple years ago, that was like the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool,
And
Deadpool
everyone-
and Harley.
And everyone walked around trying to be the funniest Deadpool and like mess with people.
Well, it depends. Some do and some don't.
The one I was at, that's all I did.
I mean, it depends. What one did you go to?
I went to Steel City Con.
Oh, up by Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was never there. So
I was
can't
there
say.
2 weeks before China died, and
Really?
she was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And I went to go talk to her, and her handler was like, "If you're not paying, then get out of here." And I was like, There's nobody in her line. I just walked up to the table. I was like, "Hey, I'm not really interested in an autograph or a photo. I just want to say thank you for being a part of my childhood. Like you're hands down the greatest female wrestler who ever wrestled. You had the greatest look. You're part of D-Generation X, which is my favorite staple of all time. Like, thank you for your work, your body of work."
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of wrestlers don't honestly get that. And she went to reply, and her handler goes, "If you're not paying money, please step aside."
Okay.
And I looked and I went, "There's no one here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't care." And I was like, "Have a great day."
Yeah.
And I walked away.
Oh,
and then
God.
2 weeks later, she was gone.
Oh,
yeah. And then because of how shitty her handler was,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Because of your piece of shit, I'm gonna go over to Ralph Macchio and pay him $60 to go talk to him. Have a great day.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Yeah.
So sometimes the
that's
handlers
a
are
fucking
assholes.
shame. That really is a shame. Like if somebody's gonna have the fandom for you, let them roll with it. You know what I mean? That's how I
Especially
look
if
at
now,
it.
if you're holding up a line and there's 50
Yeah,
people waiting, I
like-
can kind of see, you know. Okay.
Like I think I only talk maybe total altogether. I probably talked to Stanley maybe like when I actually
you don't get much
encountered
time
him.
with him.
Like altogether, maybe about a minute
Yeah.
and a half.
yeah, you're lucky to get that.
But like the fact of the matter, like altogether, like the 2 appearances I did, and I'm like, well, New York Comic Con, it didn't really help. But like when it was at Philly Wizard World in 2013, I was just like, man, like the guy was fucking wrung out in the first place anyway, and I'm just like, hey man, take your time. I stood for 3.5 hours to get a picture with Norman Reedus and Michael Rooker, Daryl Dixon,
yeah,
and the other Dixon, and it got to the point where like I gripped on Michael Rooker so hard he got fucking pissed at me. He kind of remembered it.
I probably would too.
I remember
What's
that.
this
He's-
fucking guy doing?
It's like, I mean, I'm like, hey, come on in, and like Norman Reedus is just like, hey man, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was cool about, it, but Michael Rooker didn't fucking approve. Merle Dixon.
but
just
he's I like to call him Yondo.
yeah, Yondu, yeah.
Yondu.
And I'm like, fuck this. And then there was no line for Stanley, and that's where I bought my Amazing Spider-Man 300, and I got it signed by Stan Lee
Wow.
by Desert Wind Comics. I could have got it graded, but I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
It was between Ghost Rider, the first appearance of Ghost Rider, and that one. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go and Spider-Man 300 Venom. It has a little sticking power. I'm like, excuse me. I said,
Hey now.
I said, you know what, man? I stood in line for 3.5 hours. Take your time, Stan. He just smiled at me. I'm like, holy shit! Like, he got the crack, and I'm like,
When I met Alexa, because that's like in Charlotte, like I was like, I had in my mind what I'm going to say to them. I'm going to get as much words as I can in, and I'm going to make them laugh. And that was my whole goal.
because I bought like a $200 comic, which is Amazing Spider-Man 300 at Desert Wind's table, and they're like, make sure you open up your bag and get your comic ready. I'm like, holy
I love when
fuck!
they
I
say
spent
that.
$200. I'm like, what?
No, I'm going to wait till I'm right when my time to get up, and then I'm going to pull it out. It's like,
Yeah, and I'm just like,
I'm sure there's some
holy
idiots that
shit.
do that, and that's why they say that, though. But it's
Yeah.
like, come on.
And I'm just like, holy shit!
All right,
I'm wrapping it up. Don't
As
worry.
I say,
don't
before
worry.
we go deeper down this rabbit hole, we got to wrap up.
Don't worry. I'll be. Don't worry. But anyhow, like he signed it. I go, hey man, thanks so much. I put my hand out, like, and he shook my hand. I'm like, holy shit! I'll never forget this. 100%.
Yeah. So that's
I shook his hand.
what celebrities don't think about is like, you might forget it because you're meeting 5,500 people that day, but that person's going to remember for the rest of their life. So,
Yeah.
like, don't be a dick.
I was seriously fucking enthusiastic. I'm like, holy shit! And like my coworker was like, "What'd you do?" I go, "I fucking shook Stanley's hand." He goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, man." Like, yeah, it was so fucking great, and that's what really stuck with me. It still sticks with me after having 13 Stanley signed books then too.
Yeah, I know that.
So and you saw all of them then too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
2 people legitimately saw that shit.
There's
so.
no way to connect this back to beer. I know.
No, we're way
But,
off topic here.
but-
I was
But
gonna say,
anyhow.
New York Con always has a beer though. They have a unique beer, and I tried to get one, but they won't let you take a bottle
Yeah.
because of safety reasons. I was like, I just
Yeah,
want to take.
come
I
on.
said, can I just when I'm leaving, can I get one and you can watch me walk out the door? Like, no. I'm like, well, then never mind.
Can you may or may not see me not walk out the
Yeah.
door? It's my responsibility. Like,
No, I know I got some connections, so I can probably get some. But it's
Andy, fucking underground Andy.
no
Unbiased
when you befriend some artists or writers, and
Unbiased Andy, underground
and they have a little
Andy.
bit
There
of
we
pool,
go.
and you get a little bit of pool, and it's good to know.
Well, I'm not going to lie. We're going to wrap it up here. So, Tony, you got anything to plug?
Nope. Just check out the rest of the stuff on the network. Look at Ben killing it. Just check out the rest of the stuff on the network, and thank you guys for supporting. And go check out that interview.
Wait, we
with,
didn't get to Andy.
We'll get there. You asked me my plug. I'm doing my plug.
Okay.
You suck at wrapping up. This is your cut.
All right. No.
All right. So check out the rest of the stuff on the network, and definitely go check out our last interview with Nate from Portland, Pennsylvania, and go check out that documentary.
Good job, Tony.
All right,
but
thanks,
Andy,
Ben.
what
Host
about
Ben
you?
here.
Do you got anything to plug?
No, I don't. He already said check out the other podcast that I'm on. So first time on this one, and anyone from New Trails. Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm no beer drinker, so just shitting on it, just shit on it.
No, in complete honesty, like it was a good experience.
Well,
for you.
hey,
It was fun.
the whole point was to know if the two that sound the same tasted different, and me not knowing a beer from the hole in the ground, they tasted different.
You go,
even though you gave probably not the greatest review, but you are not a craft beer drinker. You are not a beer drinker at all, let alone a craft beer drinker. But our whole goal was, if you went out to the store, you've seen these 4 beers, do they taste differently?
Yeah.
And our goal was accomplished, and they all did.
Yeah. And Jason, you got anything there?
Well, I mean, not to go off on any tangent, but real quick, one time I saw Billy D. Williams at a comic book convention, and I was actually at Chiller Theater Convention. I was going to stand in a line to have him sign a Colt 45.
Wait. I'm going to guess. You had Colt 45
He
with
just
him.
said that.
Yeah.
He just said he
he
had a
did.
bottle he wanted him signed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but when I seen the line to wait for him, I was like, fuck that. I don't care enough. You know?
Sometimes
So,
I see the lines, I'm like, you know what? I don't need it.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago, too. But, no, I mean, I don't really have anything to plug, although I was in talk with, and I mentioned this earlier, Joe, not to the podcast, but in our messages and conversation, Joe from Abomination. So I think we got some stuff on the pike coming up with them. So
If I don't know if it's available yet, but I know Abomination just did a collaboration with Pillaroo guys. That blueberry juice one. I don't know where we can go to pick it up, but maybe if we could find anything out, if it's available this weekend, we can go try to grab it somewhere.
Well, I didn't really know like everything that was going on, but once I talked to Joe, I kind of put all the pieces together. I guess Josh from Abomination, he actually moved to Connecticut, and he's working at 12% right now, which is where they're brewing out of and distributing the beer. And then I guess Joe's going to eventually move up there as well, but he hasn't yet, and he's still up in East Stroudsburg.
Where's 12% at?
That's in Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Oh wow! So we're losing Abomination to another state soon.
Yeah.
Well, Josh is already living in Connecticut, and he's working for 12%, where they're brewing out of, and I guess Josh is going to move up there. But
Are they both going to
not Josh, but Joe?
Are they both going to just go with 12%, and Abomination is going to be done? Like, what's the?
Well, no, 12% is, I guess, where they brew and they distribute out of.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? But Ben might know more about that than me.
Yeah, that would be right, because
that must be why my dad is finding so much Abomination in New York.
Yeah, because see, the whole thing is they signed a contract with. Well, see, here's the thing: they're an independent brewer or a gypsy brewer. Might be the offensive thing to say, but they are a gypsy brewer. I'll say it. And basically, what they're doing is they brew the beer, and 12% actually buys the beer from them. That's how they go about it, because I talked to Josh a year or two ago about it.
Real quick, are they aware of that we did 2 back-to-back Abomination episodes?
I don't know if they're aware of that, but talking to Joe, he is aware of the podcast.
Yeah, because we did Abomination Part 1 and Abomination Part 2. Yeah. If we can find a way to possibly get that collaboration with Pillaroo, that'd be fantastic. And I know the Pillaroo guys just did a collaboration with Tattered Flag that's coming soon. So
they're also doing the social distancing series of beers. Then too, Rotunda's actually doing a collaboration with Hoof Hearted.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, that's fucking nutty.
And the shirt of that Abomination and Pillaroo did, it's like a monster looking at his phone.
Yeah,
that artwork
Nuclear
is actually
explosion.
Yeah, that artwork is actually on sale right now for Abomination. I think you can get it on T-shirt. So
that's
that
awesome.
artwork actually sold today on eBay for like I think it was around $230 or $240.
Nice.
Not
I think they are
terrible.
putting it on T-shirts and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the original art for that sold today on eBay. Yeah, I seen it. I watched it. I seen it. Actually, it was funny. I was in talk with Joe about it because he was interested in buying it. I was surprised that he wasn't offered it first because the artwork was done for Abomination. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But,
All right, where are you going? Where are
you?
you going to see him tomorrow? Are you driving up to him?
I again, like, you know, things are kind of like, you know, I don't know. Everything's kind of like up in the air at this point. I mean, I was in talks with. What happened was basically I talked to 12%, and Alex from 12% got in contact with me, and he was like, "Oh, you can't find our beer or whatever." He's like, and this was about Nightmare Brewing, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I'll get you a 4-pack of the newest one," and I'm like, "What?" You know, I'm like, "Who do I pay for this? What do I do?" You know, and he's like, all of a sudden, like, Joe has this beer, and I'm like. It went so fast and it happened so fast. I didn't even know what happened. You know, it was like all of a sudden it was like he just like banged this beer out to me, and I'm like, well, who do I pay for this? What do I do? It was free. Like I didn't even get it. It's dude, it's so awesome with these breweries and stuff. They have such a close tie to one another, and it's like. You know, it's kind of getting back to that whole like Trogs thing. It's like. They're all like working hand in hand. They're like all on the same page. It's like there's certain competition and there's certain, you know, maybe rivalries and stuff, but they all kind of just are nice, like working together. And it's like, he's like, oh, you know, talk to Joe from Abomination. He's got your beer, you know, go see him. And I'm like, who do I owe money? I don't owe money to anyone. It's like,
well, if you do talk to him, ask him that we are inquiring of that collaboration with Pillaroo, because we are buddies with those guys and we'd love to feature that beer on the show. And also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, even like I talked to him and he's like, you know, I said, is there any Abomination beer like available that I can buy or whatever? And he's like, I've got cases of this stuff sitting. I'm like, he's like, you meet me. He's like, I can give you a case of beer. And I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, I just found out today I am off tomorrow, so if you need someone to go for a ride with you, I'll definitely ride with you. No, not even just to make that connection, you know.
Yeah, I was just like blown away, man. These guys are just like, you know, I'm like, well, I said I do a podcast. I mean, I'd love to have you guys on. I can. You know, we can do a whole episode around you and feature you. He's like, I'll come down, you know, I'll bring beer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
if he's willing to come to my shitty house in Frackville, he's more than welcome to.
I mean, dude, he was just like so accommodating and stuff. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, pump the brakes, man. Like, you know, we'll come to you. We'll do this. We'll do that. You know, he was just like so forward thinking and stuff. And it was like,
well, maybe
I was just like blown away,
depending on how it goes for you Saturday. And if you do want a company for the ride, let me know. I'll ride with you. Maybe next Friday, depending on how everything goes, if everyone's comfortable. I know Ben's in, my dad's in, and so is Spive. Maybe we can if you want to be the fifth guy, we can fill the table up again next week and do an episode.
Fuck yeah.
And we can try to get back.
I'm thrilled about that.
I mean, the governor's saying we're allowed to do stuff again next week with each other, so we can
go fishing. So you can have a Bangin Beers podcast.
Yeah, so sick of this shit. You know?
We're not breaking the rules with over 10 people, so it works out.
Yeah, we're not being assholes about it.
I'm trying to put all the pieces of this puzzle together, but it's happening so quickly, and with everything that's going on, it's just. I mean, like, I made connections with Nightmare, I made connections with Abomination, you know, I made connections with 12%, you know, but it's like, I have all this stuff going on, and I can't really do anything with it at the moment because of all the horse shit that's going on, you know. But
no, fair enough, but at the same time, it makes you want to think of stuff in the future and, you know, blow it out of the water, you know, with this delay, you know what I mean?
I mean, and the thing about it is that, you know, Joe from Abomination, I mean, he's so cool, dude. I mean, like, I talked to him on the phone, and he's like, look, you know, he's like, he goes up to 12%. He's like, whatever you want. He's like, I'll bring it back for you. He's like, you want Nightmare? I'll bring it back. He's like, we're doing all these different series of our beer. You know, I'll bring it back. You know, he's like, whatever you want, let me know. And I'm like, what? It's like I'm
Be awesome.
blown away.
Dude,
And fair enough, I know that, like, when I made my connection with, like, Josh and the Abomination crew, like, I remember the third Schuylkill County Brew Fest, and I hung around with them the whole time, and it was just really awesome. It was just really awesome, and Tony knows that, like, even before Bangin Beers was a thing, because I helped.
Well, I even said to him I said to him when I talked to him on the phone, I was like, dude, I said, you know me. I said, we've talked a bunch of times in person. I said, I know you talk to a lot of people. You're not going to remember who I am if I try and explain myself to you. But I was like, I've gotten like probably 3 T-shirts for free off of them. I've gotten glassware for free off of them.
And real quick, I just want to be very clear. That's not our goal in this process to get everything for free.
Right.
No, but dude, this was before I even
mentioned
had any involvement in this podcast. You know what I mean? Like nothing. I mean, that's just them being
good people.
Accommodating.
Yeah, they're just good people.
And it got to the point with me. And it got to the point with me where I would actually literally go out of my way and make like craft 6-packs for like Rotunda and also Abomination. But like that's besides the fact. But anyhow, if anything,
get in the mic a little bit.
Let's wrap.
We'll piece it all together.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it all up here. I'm gonna do my plug. So I'm gonna plug our own podcast. We're gonna be doing some really great stuff after all this COVID-19 shit's gonna, blow out of the water. I'm really looking forward to all the beers that we're gonna do. I
was hit up by Hidden Stories and said, I know everything went to shit, but we're still 100% on board to do an episode. So.
Yes. And I know we have to reschedule our stuff, but regardless, though, like I feel like that we're going to hit our stride when it comes to all this then, too.
Going to New York for our New York trip?
Yes. I'm really looking forward to that, 100%.
It's Just Beer Podcast. Go check them out.
It's Just Beer Podcast. I was actually going to plug them at some point or another because Jason made the reference of his dick being hard with Uncle Dan. I was like, oh, I missed my window of opportunity, but anyhow, thank you for enjoying Bangin Beers Podcast. This is Ben. This is Faith in Exile.
Oh, you're closing it? All right, see you guys.
I would have wished you the best, but now I look for the day. You think I'll put up back? You ain't nothing to me. You got one step away.